Did I call it or did I call it? Tonight's program is going to be a bit of a slow cooker here because I need to put this in proper context. A lot of people have been talking about Michael B. Jordan winning his Oscar for the movie Sinners. And as the internet is prone to do, most of the folks who are talking have got this completely wrong. Bad takes all over the place. This is not the time for incels to jump up and say, hey, he represents us. No, he doesn't.
Sit your ass down.
There's a lesson here to be learned. This is not about bombing on Lori Harvey. This is about understanding, however, how a young lady can fumble the ball in the worst way imaginable here. I want to show you a few things. What I want to show you here is Michael B. Jordan after he got his award. There he is, at the top of his game. The chicks love to talk about Leo DiCaprio and whatnot. This is Leo DiCaprio. There's just tons of pictures of him. He was damn near booed up with Michael the whole night there. He wasn't the only one. Benicio del Toro, he was on the set at the same time there, so he had a film also, but there they were. This is Michael B. Jordan in the middle of everything. This is the type of event and environment that females, particularly females in the entertainment industry, females on the periphery of it, females who have a high profile, this is the environment that they dream about. They live their entire years, their whole lives to get here. You're not supposed to be missing an event like this. All the eyes in the world are on you. And while Michael B. Jordan was there with the whole world anticipating it, probably the most anticipated Oscars you probably had in years, all of that was going on. And the abject lesson that everyone was talking about here was, by the way, while that was happening, hey, is somebody missing? Where is Lori? Or better yet, folks are just wondering there, I wonder what she's doing here tonight because Michael is out here winning. Baby, how in the world did you miss this? Because Mike is out there winning. He's out there winning big. I can understand jumping ship to a certain degree, but baby, you jumped a little soon, didn't you? Where were you going? Where were you going that was worth missing this? Isn't that the point of their existence? Isn't the point of their existence their ability to be at these kinds of affairs and to be at these kind of events like this? And it's like, this isn't a good look. There's no publicist that would sit up here and tell you that this was a great idea. Not a one. How do you end up in this kind of predicament? Let me go ahead and start with that first. It happens because you count somebody down and out because you've gotten it in your head that because other people, there are folks that you know, and these other people have gotten your head full of the idea that you are the reason that he's hot instead of the other way around. This is what the internet era has done. Then you get it into your head that this man's going to stop performing and producing, or that somehow he's going to be on the decline because you're not in the picture. And that happens to a lot of guys out there, don't get me wrong. To fellas out there who are motivated by a woman, not driven, and I've told you the difference between motivation and drive. Fellas out there who are motivated by a woman but not driven. Those fellas lose their motivation when the female goes. Michael, being a relatively young man, he was facing the same thing there. And what he showed the whole world was he didn't back down, he doubled down. I'm showing you the picture on your screen right now of Michael B. Jordan and Leo DiCaprio and Benicio del Toro. There Michael B. Jordan is. That's it. It's no longer deniable. He has made it in the company of made men. He is now going to be in all the conversations you want to have. He has made it in the company of made men. He is officially no longer on the come up. He is now officially in Hollywood aristocracy. Michael B. Jordan is no longer on the come up. He's no longer just a superstar. He is now officially in the Hollywood aristocracy. He has made it as high in the industry for prestige as you can possibly go. He has received the ultimate award of recognition. Here's the key part: recognition by his peers. By them giving you the Oscar, this is them saying, we recognize you as one of our peers. So if you look up with esteem to Leo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro and all the rest of these folk there, Steven Spielberg, now you got to count him among them. You have no choice in the matter. That's what Lori missed out on. Strategic blunder of the century, I'll let you call it. I want to show you another picture here. Here's another picture right here. When I talk about acknowledgement and recognition, Hollywood legend Tom Cruise. And take a look at Tom wanting folks to know that he's showing respect to Michael. When you see this right here, Michael's like, you the man. And Tom's like, no, you the man. This is the recognition and acknowledgement that I'm talking about. There's no guesswork anymore. He's not working on it. He's not trying to get there. Oh, one day I hope I make it. Oh, he's made it. And then some. He's made it and then some. When you want to discuss about this being a strategic and historical epic blunder, this is what it is, because, and this is no shade on Lori Harvey, but I want to discuss that for a few moments here. See, here's the problem, Miss Harvey. The problem is you've let your head get gassed up, most likely by your mama and those vultures circling around there and whatnot, because here's the question, ma'am. What exactly is it that you do?
What?
I mean, you're cute and everything, don't get us wrong. But the real question is, okay, ma'am, if we're going to judge value, what exactly is it that you do exactly? I mean, what do you make? What is the product you make or the service that you provide? Because the fella you were with, we can all see what that is. But when it comes to you, we couldn't just help but notice, by the way, what exactly is it that you do? Because the Kardashians don't do anything, but they do make something. And I want to deal with that right quick. To all the clown-ass idiots on the internet, particularly here on YouTube, there are a bunch of jackasses out there who are trying to extrapolate things that nobody ever said. Folks are running around saying stupid things like, Lori Harvey sent Michael B. Jordan a congratulations. No proof whatsoever. You want to talk about AI slop? What about internet slop? The internet's a place where people, I mean, the problem with Gen Z and Gen Alpha, when I say they go around they become a con job generation. Now they just go around lying, just make up things, say ridiculous things. Did I get attention? And then some of your Gen X YouTubers follow up behind that, which is the epitome and pinnacle of pathetic, because you don't need that. You don't need to sit up here and fantasize, stupid, about, oh, you know, she was trying to do that. She reached out to him. No, she didn't. And you don't have to fantasize about it. That's what makes you an idiot. For those who actually have connections in these circles, I'm telling you all how this really goes. You don't have to fantasize and make up garbage. The reality is that she lives on social media. She lives and she dies by social media. She's got all the consultants and all the publicists who they know the only thing they're selling is her social media presence. That she is keenly plugged in and tuned into. When you Google her, her people are watching to see what is the auto results of the suggestions that Google gives. If you all type in Lori Harvey and then hit the space bar on Google tonight, the second or third return you're going to get is not Damson Idris, but Michael B. Jordan.
Damn!
So to all the crack babies on the internet and all the dusty dumb niggas who just make things up because you're pathetic, you don't have to sit up here and lie about these things. These folk, it's her job. It is her profession to be plugged in to her image because that's all she's selling is her image. That's all she got and all she's selling. So her people are plugged in. And you damn right, when he walked across that stage, first thing they did was start monitoring it. First thing that they did was start monitoring it to see, okay, what's the return? How is this affecting us? Is this affecting her image? What's going on here? They see what I've seen. It's their job to see it, people. All she's selling is social media image. It's their job to see, where is she being mentioned? Is she trending? And when they saw this, she was trending only because of Michael B. Jordan. They are painfully, excruciatingly sensitive to that. It's their job. So the jackasses making things up in the internet delusional moron age, that's not necessary. Their occupation, these are people whose job it is to monitor her image, monitor her mentions, monitor if she's trending, and if she is, to be plugged in at all times to what that's about and what's that for, so that they can see if they can capitalize on it. And it doesn't do them any good to see that, by the way, ma'am, you sold the stock short. Tonight, you could have been on top of the damn world. You would have been trending everywhere. You would have been the it girl. Everybody would have said you were winning. Instead, they're all saying, damn, she fumbled.
And deal with it, nigga.
Yeah, you're trending right now. Your name is trending with Lori Harvey fumbled. And a bunch of videos. Now, all of a sudden, the sister girls are all quiet and everybody's just saying, damn, she fumbled that one. I mean, Diddy in jail. The other exes ain't calling you back. Michael B. Jordan's winning Oscars and you can't even be on the street, much less in the building. Damn. Bad strategy. There will be some of the dead enders of the Sisterhood of Failure who are going to try to pretend, well, Jason, her and Damson Idris, they show up every once in a while. And I want to deal with that real quick because I don't want you all to be under any illusions, but I want to put this in its proper context. Damson is having a good run right now, too, as a matter of fact. He was in that movie with Brad Pitt. So Damson, if he can keep this going, if he can keep this rolling, Damson's going to be on the come up too. We'll see. But there are certain things that I noticed about Damson, which is a change in energy from Michael B. Jordan. I want to show you all some of these things. This is a difference in energy. Case in point, you can go look these up for yourself, but just some random things I looked up for, which is for selfies. I just noticed you see what happened when Lori Harvey was taking a selfie, and then you see what happens when Damson Idris was taking one with her. Body language. Couldn't help but notice the body language, and I can get you all at least half a dozen other pictures of her and Michael B. Jordan. The body language totally different. Here Damson Idris is again. Every time he turns around here, over the years, there he is with his arm flopped over her. Totally different energy from Michael B. Jordan, y'all. Just letting you know, by the way, totally different energy. Damson's been treating her like she's the star, and maybe up to this point she was. They've been off again, on again. I imagine the energy will change, but yeah. The energy's been different there. Let me go ahead and show you again. Difference in energy. Difference in energy. In one picture, she's sitting to your side and your arm is all over her shoulder. In the second picture, she's sitting on dude's lap and she's damn near got him in a reverse full Nelson. It's an obvious difference in body language of desire. And by the way, I can keep putting up pictures like this. I got a few more to show y'all. You know, I'm not playing with you. I got a few more to show you. But by the way, yeah, there's that. Public display of affection, by the way, just in case you know. Well, Jaden, there's pictures of her on Damson Idris's lap. You're right, there is. Miss Sassy, belligerent, masculine female. Yeah, there are. And I would just like to show you the difference in body language here. She's on Damson Idris's lap like an unruly 4-year-old that's trying to get away. Michael B. Jordan did not and never did have to do any of that. So, yeah, she's making it known, don't do too much. Yeah, you really don't want us to keep this up all evening. You really don't want that. Which we could. Of all the pictures that I saw, though, this one right here is the one that struck me the most.
Damn!
Of all the pictures of them that I've seen, this one struck me the most. This picture right here said it all to me. And I think it says it all to you. Who is the star and who is the fan? That was the reason why I want to show you those other pictures first. This is Michael B. Jordan. This is Damson Idris. This is Michael B. Jordan. And this is Damson Idris. Rookie move, rookie mistake. You're new to this. You don't really understand what's going on. You're new to it. You're fanboying out, and there's a reason why that just doesn't work, man. So when I saw this picture here, I was like, yeah, for those of you who, the sisterhood of failure is very good for saying dumb things. If anybody goes and looks into this for half a minute, you're going to start seeing some interesting stuff happen. Body language. A picture's worth 1,000 words. This tells you everything. Who is the star and who is the fan? Who is being admired here and who is the admirer? What, you gonna tell me that we don't see what we see? Remember, a woman's gonna show you if she admires you. She's gonna show you if she admires you. And I'm telling you, this isn't just a one-off. You can see a steady stream of this. Let me go ahead and remind you all one more time here, once again, for the internet ignorant idiot age. Women like Lori Harvey, they have to stay with a hot dude. That's the only way they can keep their names hot. They have to stay with a hot dude. She can't stay spontaneously hot on her own. She got to be with a hot dude. And Michael B. Jordan at the top of his damn game. What does it say when you're with the consolation prize? No disrespect to Damson. We'll see how things go here in the next few years. That's not what the plan was. That's not what the plan is supposed to be. You see, in this era right here now, when you lose a dude, they got to immediately go jump right back out there and go try to grab somebody. Ciara and Russell Wilson, Cardi B and Stephon Diggs, that's the name of the game. Kim Kardashian and Pete Davidson, people, their publicists, the people who pay them, hey, your name ain't going to be hot if you're by yourself. You better go get somebody. That's how you know that the ride is over for Lala Anthony. Ain't going to be nothing after Carmelo. Game over. Game over. No disrespect, it's mathematics. Her life's blood and her, if you dare call it making a living, depends on the hotness of the man that she's with. And what the whole world saw is, baby, you're not with that top dude like that. And that is a drag on your image. And now what this does is it puts an inordinate amount of pressure on Damson Idris now that he got to hurry up and become the biggest thing in Hollywood and get an Oscar. This puts tremendous pressure on him to produce a lot more. And you don't get to wait. I'd be remiss if I didn't show you all one more thing here. I'd be remiss if I didn't show you this. After he got his Oscar, by the way, Michael B. Jordan was just doing, max flex, and he went to In-N-Out Burger. It looked like half of L.A. or wherever they were at were following him. He's sitting at the table with his Oscar award. Everybody and their mama was taking pictures. The whole staff was taking pictures. Lori Harvey would not get a reception like this. If she walks into any place there, this is not the reception she's going to get. This is what Mike getting. For people, and I'm talking about Lori Harvey and the social media influencers and Instagram models, for people who their life's blood is attention. Their life's blood is capitalizing on occasions where all eyes are watching. Their life's blood is capitalizing on publicity. And Michael B. Jordan, he had a flamethrower of publicity and still got it. And I'm just telling you right now, that's not playing well among her people. That's not playing well with them. This is not, baby, you can't stay hot when you're fumbling like this. Because remember, Lori Harvey doesn't produce anything. At least the Kardashians are selling, Skims or whatever else they're selling now. At least the Kardashians are selling a product. At least they have an asset outside of their social media presence. What's Lori Harvey selling? What is her product that is an asset that she's selling that doesn't rely on her making Instagram posts? I'm trying to give you all the dimensions of fumbling the ball that happened there. I do not know what it is that she allegedly thinks that Michael B. Jordan should have been doing or whatnot, or most likely it is that Michael B. Jordan was unwilling. Most likely Michael B. Jordan was unwilling to be her fan. I'm willing to wager that Michael B. Jordan was not willing to fanboy for her. And that as a result, she realized she could not control him. Well, now she's out here controlling the 5th place trophy. No disrespect to Damson. We'll see what the future brings. But right now, you where Michael was a decade ago. We'll see how the next few years go. Wishing no ill on him. And I have a feeling that as soon as Damson's chips start moving up, he gonna be with somebody else too. How does a young woman who had all these options put in front of her, how in the hell do you fumble the ball this damn badly? And so we're going to be examining the lessons from the life of Lori Harvey in light of the incredible success of Michael B. Jordan, now that it's undeniable. We're going to go ahead and take a look at that and examine this. The 720 degrees of analysis you'll receive absolutely nowhere else. First of all, you need to consider this, that Lori Harvey doesn't make anything. She's famous for being famous. Or in her case, she's only famous for the men that she dates. She's only famous for that. Outside of that, she's not really known for anything because she hasn't done anything except be born. Not being negative, I'm just stating facts. Don't worry, I'll open up the Zoom here shortly, so anybody who wants to disagree with that can go ahead and explain to everybody where I'm wrong. Because, as I said, the Kardashians are at least manufacturing clothes. They got to deal with Nike. Lori doesn't even have that. So for people who live and die on the value of their image or of their publicity, her ability to date top-tier men isn't optional, it's a necessity. It's the only card that she can play. If you lose that card, your stock plummets. Her stock is in free fall. Her stock's in free fall. The other thing is, for the sisterhood of stupid failure out there and whatnot, this is what happens when a chick who should be a whole lot smarter sits up here and listens to a bunch of hoes on social media and Facebook and let them influence your decisions. Like Lala Anthony did. Now they're all coming back and admitting, yeah, I listened to social media. Yeah, it didn't work out very well. Well, this is what happens when you allow social media and a bunch of random chicks in comment sections to plot out your strategy for you. It goes badly. It goes horrendously. The reason is because you can't talk Damson Idris into being bigger than Michael B. Jordan. You can't get a bunch of bitter baby mamas in the comment section to chant Damson Idris because most of them didn't even know him. You can't talk somebody up into this status. They got to earn it and get there. You can't tweet and chirp and gossip your way into giving a man status. A man got to get that on his own. A bunch of chicks in the comment section cannot give him status. That works for women. A bunch of men talking about a woman can give her status. Ain't that right, Lori Harvey?
Damn!
And all the rest of the Instagram models. But a bunch of women talking about a man, that doesn't give a man status. It doesn't work that way. A man gets status based on his productivity. He doesn't get status based on a bunch of chicks hoping they can talk him into being big. It's men who make a woman hot. That's where Lori Harvey and the rest of the hoes miss the plot. It is men that make a woman hot. It's men who do that. Women don't make men hot. Men make women hot. That's why if a woman doesn't have sex appeal, all the money in the world isn't going to last very long and isn't going to make her worth a thing. It's not going to happen. Okay, I hope the women in here ain't getting silly. Lori Harvey, if she's got skincare, it's a damn Family Dollar.
Damn!
Yeah, I think I found it next to the oil of Olay.
Nigga, please.
Here, have this seat, ma'am. Take a look at the WNBA, y'all. Take a look at the WNBA. If you think that women are hot because they have money, or if you think that women are hot because they can get on television, take a look at the WNBA. I mean, super strong lesbian population. They can't draw a dime and they get no attention. And there's no value. There's no status except for one of them, Angel Reese. As soon as Angel Reese got out of college, she said, I ain't going to push the lesbian line. She said, let me go find a thong to put on.
Damn!
First thing Angel Reese did when she got out of college was said, let me find a thong to put on. Let me find a bikini to put on. That was the first order of business. She said, damn, dribbling a basketball. Let me show some butt cheeks. Let me do that. I'm not trying to get lost in the crowd with the rest of these butch chicks over here. Let me show the men what I'm working with. while I'm at the top of my game, while I'm in my sexual prime, let me show the men what I'm working with so that they don't mistake me for one of these strong-shouldered females over here. And she went straight to work. Her online presence has directly sent the message that she wants to present herself as sexy and feminine and appealing to men. Now, here's the killing part for Lori Harvey that she's just going to have to level with, and she's getting a brutal wake-up call. It is successful men who make a woman hot.
And deal with it, nigga.
A bunch of broads in the comment section ain't going to make you hot, baby. It don't work that way. Women don't admire a woman who is desired or looked up to by other women. Women look up to a woman who is desired by men, particularly men with status and resources. Successful men make a woman hot. A woman ain't hot by herself. They take a look at what's orbiting you, what's around you, what are you in line for. That's what makes you hot. Ambitious men make a woman hot. Successful men make a woman hot. A man raises a woman's profile. Without that, she has no public image. And that's where Lori is right about now. Sitting around with Steve Harvey is not going to move the needle for you, ma'am. That was your entry into the public consciousness, but that's not going to hold it. From here on in, you're going to have a man who's able to keep that together for you. And right now, ain't nothing pulling the weight. You see, it's supposed to be all over for Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan is supposed to be on his way down right now, folks. Michael B. Jordan is supposed to be on his way out. And this is why I want to remind you all, when I did my program years ago talking about Kanye West, the comeback kid, I called it from the very beginning. Because I saw what he was doing. I said if he stops talking about Kim Kardashian and triples down on himself, everything changes. And what the hell happened before it was over? Kim Kardashian, the next season, the Kardashians is her talking about Kanye. Kanye hadn't been in the picture for over a year. And she had her producer saying, yeah, baby, you ain't enough by yourself. You better talk about your ex-husband. All he had to do was focus on himself and building his value. When I saw that was happening, I told y'all, that's it, it's over. This is comeback kid. And now they're talking about him getting back out there and hitting the road, and he's just as big and as popular as he ever was. Now all the Kardashian ass kissers, deadly quiet out there, y'all. Deadly quiet. Well, yeah, because she's coming to the end of her viability. Kanye's got, what, another 10, 20 years to go at least? At least? And the whole point of it here is that there were a whole bunch of people who were hoping that Kanye was gonna fall. And they were hoping that Kanye was gonna lose. They were desperately hoping that that was going to happen. And it didn't. So I want you all to recognize that part. There's a whole bunch of folk that when they see men, specifically black men, if they think they see you getting weak, if they think they can engineer your downfall, they're going to be right there to say, okay, let me go ahead and help knock this nigga down. They hope you never get up. When they see, if they even sniff that you're losing altitude, they're not hoping you put things back together. They're hoping that the wounds are fatal. I need y'all to understand that. These folks hope that the wounds are fatal. They do not like the idea or the thought of black men excelling and succeeding. They like to see black men down and hurt and injured and helpless. There is an active hatred. There's an active hatefulness directed toward us, particularly by a lot of these women. They're very angry about that. And Very, very bitter. So when they think that if they want anything to break you, they're hoping that you're emotionally fragile, socially fragile, financially fragile. They're hoping that something's going to break you. They're hoping that hopefully you're a mama's boy and you need a female. This is a sadistic wish fulfillment by a very sick female culture that hopes that men can be easily broken. They never succeeded with men, so they're hoping that a woman can break you. Okay, if you won't break yourself, hopefully this woman next to you can break you. By the way, if you've been told by my mods to call in, the Zoom link is now available, so you need to go ahead and log in there. We'll go ahead and give you 2 minutes for that. They're hoping that the world will break you here. They're hoping that the world will break you. So when they looked at Kanye, they said, that's it, got him. Take a look at him, he's spiraling. They didn't become sympathetic. They were not sympathetic when Kim Kardashian was playing with Kanye's kids and everything else. They weren't sympathetic. They were piling on. Yeah, we want to break you. I need black men to understand. There is a hatred of you not failing. There is a hunger to see you fail and a hatred to see you excel. There's a hatred to see you become anything above average, above mediocre, much less to be exceptional. It drives them out of their minds. You see, when they see white men or non-black men excelling, that's okay for them. They're fine with that. They don't begrudge that at all. They don't begrudge that at all. But if you are excelling, now here comes the hate. Here comes a vicious amount of it out of nowhere. You're minding your business, and then all of a sudden, damn, I hope you fail. Let me see anything bad for you. All of a sudden, here come the comments. Here come a bunch of crazy ass videos. Here comes YouTube boosting it in the algorithm. Here comes YouTube and Twitter and Facebook boosting that in the algorithm. There is an organized, coordinated campaign, both organically and inorganically, focused on destroying black men. Focused on accelerating your failure, and if you're not failing, can we sabotage you? And they were hoping that Kanye was done. And then they were hoping that Jonathan Majors was done. Now they were hoping that Michael B. Jordan was done. Do you realize that just goes over and over and over again? They were hoping that Shannon Sharp was done. They were hoping that Diddy was done. Yeah, we can be here all year, folks. If you're a black male who is not failing, they are actively hoping that something comes along and stops you. And they weren't there to cheer when you were succeeding. But as soon as they think you're failing, all of a sudden here comes millions of people you never saw before. And it's like, wait a minute. I didn't even know they were watching. Oh, they were sitting in the shadows watching, like stalkers lurking. Hopefully you fall. If we get any opportunity to help you fall, we gonna do it. And that's where this comes from. Now, I got somebody on Zoom here. If you were not told to call in by my mods, it's not time for you yet. Okay, Mark, were you told to call in by my mods?
No, I don't believe I was, but I joined the meeting.
Okay. So, needless to say, here's you got to understand when you need. Right now, I'm only taking calls from the folks who are told to call in. When I open up the lines for the general public, I'll let you know. By the way, the other folks are not on the Zoom yet, so please understand. These are some of the sissified, thong-wearing, Jolly Rancher booty mama's boys. They're upset and angry. And let me explain to you why they're angry. You see, there's two sides to the red pill retards and the MGTOW morons. They hate women, but at the same time, they also hate men.
Damn!
They'll be the first fellas talking about, you need to get a prenup, keep these hoes off the money. The brokest dudes in the room are talking about prenuptials. Welcome to the silly, fantasizing generation. But the other thing is, they also hate to see men who are excelling too. See, those are the guys that they feel that they've been losing to all this time. So if anything comes along to knock you off your square and to break you down and to cripple you, then these fellas all of a sudden get real happy and get, good, now you're crippled down here just like me. Hopefully they'll take you all the way down and take everything you've got so that you'll be back down here slumming with me. And in reality, that's who they are. You all didn't see me hating on Shannon Sharp when he had that situation happen. I was pointing out just some of the matter-of-fact issues in there, but I was not at all talking about, he down, he need to be down. That good for him right there. Okay, just understand, those are not fellas being objective, and the women listening understand this. The women who are in here right now listening, they understand this. They understand that when men talk that way, it's like, no, nigga, you ain't that hard body about that. You're only upset because you feel that that guy was the preferred option of the females and that you had to do without. And that it's his fault. There's a reason why women double and triple up on dudes. It's fella, if they don't want you, they don't want you. If you're not what they're looking for, you're not what they're looking for. So it's not like if we take Michael B. Jordan out the conversation, or Damson Idris, or Denzel Washington, or Idris Elba. It's not like if we take them out the equation, all of a sudden you up next.
Nigga, what?
See, there's the fantasy that you tell your ridiculous self that if it wasn't for Michael B. Jordan, the women would be digging you. Dude, if Michael B. Jordan disappeared tomorrow, it's not like the female's like, oh, I couldn't see you because Mike was standing in the way. That's why your hating is stupid and silly, and that's that hoe in you. So the fellas who sit up here, and there were a bunch of them, I hope Michael fall all day. You saw a bunch of the little fruit booty mama's boys before, and the ones who are angry about this now. I don't care about Academy Awards like that, but I do recognize their significance. And I'm like, hey, good for him. That's good. He wanted to achieve something. He wanted to achieve something that was ambitious. He wanted to achieve something ambitious and prestigious, and he did it. How in the world you gonna hate on that? And yet, I just want you to understand that just like you have a bunch of hating females out there, you got a bunch of hating males out here also that are also hoping that other men fail under the sick, misguided, and stupid impression that somehow he's going to be up next. Which is ridiculous. Them females would rather double up with the next guy in line. You're not even in the equation. You're not even in the conversation. You're not even eligible for it, but you're hating on them. And just understand that attitude is the reason why you're losing and why you're hating. The other thing is, it's not like Lori Harvey was going to give you a call if them guys weren't in the equation. That's not the way that works either. Hating is stupid, but I want folks to understand these fellas who do the most, these incel haters, Yeah, they hate women, but they also hate men who aren't failing. They hate women, that's for certain, but they also hate men who are not failing. These will be the first guys to say, why do you have to have that fancy car? Why do you have to do these extravagant things? Why do I have to compete? I ain't competing against nobody but myself. But nigga, you ain't doing nothing at all, so there's no competition. Oh, I ain't got to compete. So just understand, incel and uncompetitive failure go hand in hand. Red pill and uncompetitive failure go hand in hand. MGTOW and uncompetitive manosphere and uncompetitive failure go hand in hand. You have a few grimy, grubby YouTubers making money off of them, but those guys are failures in life too, but they're the only ones making any money off of it. Their audience is pathetic. The audience is pathetic. So when they see men whose ambition and competitiveness have gotten them to achieve a status, they're not happy for them. They're hating on them. Just as much as the chicks out here. They're hating on him. They're hoping for his downfall. So these guys are sitting over there with the hoes saying, I hope you fail. And that's the issue. But I want to go a little bit further here. I want to go a little bit further because I want y'all to understand. Here's the next area where you made your mistake at, Miss Harvey. The next area you made your mistake at is you didn't understand the fundamental truth. The women aren't doing any fly stuff.
Oh, please.
And deal with it, nigga.
Ladies, the epitome of stupidity today is putting your chips on other women. Let me explain to you why. Women don't do fly stuff. Women look for men doing fly stuff. If you look to, as men get older and more successful, if you surround yourself with women, you buy a bunch of things. If you surround yourself with men, you build a bunch of things. Bars.
Damn!
As men get older and more successful, the biggest mistake you can make is trying to surround yourself with females, trying to make up for some player stage you never had, or some voluptuary stage you never got to enjoy, or some male hoe stage you never got to indulge in. The best thing you can do is surround yourself with competitive men, particularly competitive younger men, so you can stay sharp as a knife. Because when you surround yourself with women, you buy more things. When you surround yourself with competitive men, you build more things. Women don't build things. They don't build things at scale. That's not the way they think. That's not how they're built. That's not their biology. That's not their physiology. Therefore, when it comes to the really fly stuff, women ain't doing really fly stuff. The men are. And the women are out here looking for men doing fly stuff, doing big things. That's what the women are looking for. She's not doing fly stuff. She's looking for a dude who's doing that. Let me explain something to y'all. There are zero, listen to me very carefully, there are zero women here today, zero, who are trying to get together this weekend so they can discuss how they're going to purchase a G-Wagon.
What? Damn!
They are going to get on Instagram and they are going to talk and they are going to run their mouths and they are going to fantasize. But what they're not going to do is say, all right, here's the game plan, G-Wagon incoming. You know what a woman's game plan is to pay for a G-Wagon? A woman's only game plan for paying for a G-Wagon is to find a man who gonna pay for it.
And deal with it, nigga.
That's the only thing these women would do this weekend is get together with each other and try to scheme and plot and plan on how they gonna get a man to pay for it. None of them are trying to figure out how to get an 820 credit score. None of them are trying to figure out how to get the $50 or $60 or $70,000 down. None of them are trying to figure out how to tote that $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month car note. None. Zero. Not a one. They haven't done it for the last 10 years. They're not getting together tomorrow either, or the next weekend, or the next year. It doesn't work that way. Women don't do that. When it comes to the really big, ambitious stuff, the women don't do it. They don't do it. That's not how it works. So with that being the case, just recognize and understand where the value really comes from. The fly stuff is done by the men. I'm not saying that as wish fulfillment. It's a fact. It's reality. The fly stuff is done by the men. Men do the fly things. We do the big things. We do the ambitious things. We do that. The women are looking for a man who can pull it off. But women don't do fly stuff. Let me explain to y'all one more thing. There are zero women getting together this weekend. The weather is getting warmer. It's getting warmer in Louisiana, which means I know it's getting warmer in some of your hot spots. You've seen them on the news acting a fool in some of the vacation places there in Florida with some of the YNs out there, because that's what happens when a bunch of incels are allowed around a bunch of females, and where a bunch of big, overweight, bison-built broads are allowed around the place.
Damn!
You didn't see not one cute, sexy female out there fighting with all them pachyderms. It was just a bunch of big brown bison and big brown pigs running around out there, and that was it. And a bunch of skinny jeans wearing rejects from Lenox Mall. You didn't see anything cute out there acting a damn fool. And you didn't see anything intelligent male acting a damn fool. This is what happens when the incel mama's boys and the big fat feminist freaks are allowed to roam the streets in public. They start knocking each other's heads in. But I wanted to let you all know the weather is warming up. Folks are getting out. They're doing things. The boats are hitting the water. The yachts are hitting the water. The folks are hitting the bay. The boats are hitting the bay. Folks, one more again, there are zero women. Oh, I'm about to hurt a bunch of damn feelings tonight. All these so-called strong and independent females out here, not a one of them is flexing their yacht that they've taken out onto the water this weekend. Not even you, Miss Harvey.
Damn!
Oh yeah, one more thing. Not even you, Miss Harvey. If you put up any pictures of yourself on a boat, it'll be somebody else's. It won't be yours. Yeah, it don't matter. From the guttermost to the uttermost. By the way, it won't be you. If you see a female taking pictures of herself on a boat, there's one thing you can be guaranteed. It's not hers. If she's out on the bay on a yacht, there's one thing guaranteed. It's not hers. There needs to be a man to pay for that boat, to pay for regulation, to pay for upkeep, to pay for the marina fees. She is 0% going to do that. She's not doing it. Nor are they getting together this weekend to try to figure out how they going to do it. That's my whole point. Not only are they not doing it, there is no plan for them to do it. They're not planning or organizing or putting their heads together to say, here's how we going to do this fly stuff. They're not going to do it. They're not talking about it. They're not working on it. They're not brainstorming. If it's going to happen, it's going to be men who make it happen. Now, the women want it. The women want it. But she's like, I'll be damned if I'm going to haul that. I'll be damned if I'm going to haul that. No, where's a man to pull this? This is too much damn work for the females. It's too much mental work. She's like, oh, I'm overwhelmed mentally. This is why at the end of the day, for a man, you keep pursuing your mission, you keep pursuing your goal, and most importantly, for the men here today, you want to know why Michael B. Jordan is winning? Plain and simple. When he was a little kid, he had his eye on the prize of being exceptional. He wanted to be exceptional. He didn't want to be street corner exceptional. He wanted to be exceptional. And that was what he did. That was what he did. And that was the real point, because you can't give somebody anything to move if you don't give them something to aspire for. He didn't aim for something ordinary or average, and that's the thing that burns up the little MGTOW midget morons, is seeing a man who ain't sitting up here saying, okay, let me go buy a Dodge Charger. Yeah, you know what? Michael B. Jordan did wreck his Ferrari doing too damn much zooming down the street. He sure did. And you know what? It was a Ferrari, not a Charger.
And deal with it, nigga.
No disrespect to my Dodge heads out there, but let's just keep it on the bricks. A lot of y'all be hating. The mama's boy fellas with their Ford Focuses. Okay, you got a Focus, he got a Ferrari, and you hating heavy. He said, hey, I got to take this to a whole nother dimension, damn a next level. That was what Michael B. Jordan had dedicated his life to. That was his life's purpose. His life's purpose was focused on being highly exceptional. And this should be a wake-up call to all the men out there. You're nothing but a daydreaming fraud failure if you're sitting up here talking about Lori Harvey is punching in the air. Okay, but punching in the air for what? Because she no longer has access to a male who is not just talking about doing exceptional things, he's pulling it off on a world-class level. That's what she's missed out on. He's not a gamble. He's not speculation. He's a sure thing. He's a sure thing. And he's done it now. Now he's just going to be taking victory laps. He didn't sell you on no damn wolf tickets. He didn't sell you on his dreams and hyperbole. He didn't sell you on an elevator pitch. He told you, I'm going to the Oscars. And he went. I'm going to be number one at the box office in a movie that I made. And he went. I'm not just going to be an actor. I'm going to be a director. And he went. Next up is full-scale producing. Not no little stuff. I mean full-scale producing. That's next up. Fellas, if your trajectory and your aim in life ain't there, then I guess it's okay that you're in the peanut gallery clapping for Michael, but just understand that's the most you'll ever be doing is clapping for another dude, and that's not fly. Your results, what you do, that's where you show that you actually learn something. From your results and what you do, that should be the lesson for you here. You got an ex, you got a current girlfriend, a lot of y'all got a chick you married to. What? And they are disrespectful. They are disciplinary problems. They're insubordinate. Okay, you being unhappy is not a punishment. You producing at a high level and then removing it, that's the damn punishment. That's the penalty. It's not a penalty for you to complain. It is a penalty if you are exceptional. It's not a penalty if you're average. It's a penalty if you're exceptional. Average can be replaced at the checkout line at Target. You're a mediocre dude pushing the forklift. She can go get another mediocre dude pushing the forklift. No disrespect to my dudes on the forklift, but let's just keep it real. She can replace you with one of your co-workers. You can't replace a Michael B. Jordan. Hell, you can't replace a dude at 1/5 of what he's doing. You can't do that. It don't work that way. So you see, that's what Lori Harvey is mad as hell about tonight and is regretful about tonight, is that that's what you're no longer linked to. His drive, ambition, success, progress, and his performance. And the key word is performance. Fellas, I've been telling you all, I like saying this kind of stuff because this is what triggers the fruit booty mama's boys. This is what triggers the strawberry booty mama's boys, because they don't like us talking about tangibles. They don't like us talking about tangibles because, you see, tangibility can be measured. Tangibility can be measured. That's the thing. Tangibility can be measured. They don't like you doing that because they want to sit up and they want successful men to give women something to aspire to, and then the broke, unsuccessful dudes want to come slithering in behind. All right, baby, well, Michael B. Jordan ain't here, but you got me. One day I want to be like Mike. One day I want to be like Mike. And so there's the issue. They are in the internet age, and they don't want to stop being underage adolescents. They want to look at another man push the boundaries as far as it can be. They want to sell intangibles. But you know what? A female sitting on your lap is tangible. They want that, but they don't want to do anything beyond, well, I want her to love me even if I'm a failure. Okay. Let me explain something to you right now that Michael B. Jordan and all the folks who are in that room, all the men in that room, that they all understand. For the internet escapist fantasy crowd, the reason for a man buying expensive things is not to impress strangers.
Nigga, please.
You don't do it to impress strangers. The reason for you achieving noteworthy, tangible, even expensive things, it's to prove, listen to me, it is to give concrete, irrefutable proof that you can set large goals and achieve those large goals, not just talk about them for the rest of your life. You're showing concrete proof that you can set an ambitious, prestigious, large goal. And then you're a person who has tangible proof of your performance. Not a bunch of damn talk on the internet. That's the difference. The internet's become a place where folks hold a cell phone up in front of their faces, and then other folks go off and rent ambitious things and then have you become a follower on their account. And then they cobble together a few million unambitious people and they grab a penny from each of you. And then next thing you know, they got a Ferrari and you're sitting there fantasizing looking at one. And as a man, you are judged on your performance. You're graded and valued on your performance. And that's what sets people apart in an age where people have made it a culture to get on social media and pretend to be accomplished, pretend to be valuable, pretend to be rich, pretend to be resourceful. All these strong and independent women out here allegedly, and not a one of them with a highly valuable anything. They might have a handbag from Gucci, and that's about the pin. She's the top chick in the room. Ain't nothing on 4 wheels that you've been aspiring for. No big ticket items, just some stuff you can get with your income tax return. Things that require a very high level of performance to maintain, yeah, those are missing. Michael B. Jordan's key to this, the reason that Lori Harvey fumbled the ball was because, fellas, you gotta be the bag before a chick can fumble the bag.
And deal with it, nigga.
your wish and fantasy fulfillment that a female can lose something, that other people lose something, forget them. That doesn't mean anything. In the chat room, Slappy needs to give us a call on Zoom. You got 2 minutes to be on Zoom. I suspect some of the white supremacists out there with erectile dysfunction, they're unhappy. It's just, yeah, we hate that. Yeah, because looking up, there's Michael B. Jordan is getting props from white people. You're sitting there at home in the trailer park with your 1981 black and white television with the aluminum foil on the antennas. I know it's hurting your feelings. It's, hey, where's my white privilege? Aren't you supposed to just fail? Yeah, I know. Feelings is kind of hurt. You're just, how does that make the... I'm supposed to just be given it. Where's my white privilege? Have they forgotten I need that? I mean, yeah, they know you need it, but you're going to have to actually, compete and earn it. I shouldn't have to compete. Just give it to me. Just give it to me or I'll troll. If you don't give me what I want, I'll troll. So just understand the incel, broken, defeated, busted down mama's boys. They come in more than one color. Just understand that. Even they sitting here hating on Michael. Hell yeah, they hating on him. Jason Whitlock was talking trash about it. Hell yeah, because his 400-pound Jabba the Hutt built ass ain't nothing looking for him. If he got on a boat, he'd capsize the damn thing.
Damn!
Yeah, so, I mean, yeah, you supposed to be hating. I need y'all to understand one more thing right here. It is good when you got haters. Just understand that it's good when you got haters. If you are performing and you doing your thing, it's good when you got haters. It's good when they're over there in the corner and they screaming and they're squealing and they're mad as hell seeing you shine. Please understand that is the universe applying balance. The folks who love you and the folks who love to hate you. That is the universe applying balance. You see, you can judge a man by his enemies. Follow me, follow me, follow me, follow me. You can judge a man by his enemies. The people who love you, that's one thing. But that doesn't give us the whole picture. That doesn't tell us the whole story. Let me see the people who hate you. Now, if those people are righteous, just, honest, honorable, not low-life racist dirtbags, because in the gutter is where you are and where you will remain. But if those people are righteous and just and honorable and they hate you, well, now I gotta look you over. I gotta take a look at that. I gotta take a look at that. Let me see your enemies. Now, if all of your enemies are lying, low-life dirt bags, scummy-ass failures, individuals that nobody would want to be like or become, I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, I needed to see that because that confirms for me who you are. If you were like them, they would love you. When bad people hate you, that tells us your value. When scumbags hate you, well, that tells us who you really are. Because if you were a scumbag, the scumbags wouldn't have a problem with you being there. They'd be like, hey, we cool. Everything's great. We cool. But when the dirt bags and the low lives, when they hate you, that's the universe confirming for the rest of us who you are. Well, hell, he's hated on by folk I would never want to be around, never want to be like, want nothing to do with. All right, this fella's all right. You all right. I don't have to question you. You all right. Because I see the people who don't like you. And those folks ain't no good. So, yeah, you're cool people. You're good. So please understand, it's important to have your haters. It's important to have your haters. The other thing is the universe wants you to understand something. The universe wants the people who are hating on you to see you sitting in the shade. The universe wants the people who are hating on you. Listen to me. I know all of you want your family and your friends to see your accomplishments, but there's one thing you missing. The universe doesn't think that way. The universe also wants to make sure your haters have a front row seat. Oh, no. See, the punishment for your haters is to realize that they are futile. That the universe is going to park them right up in the front row. No, we want you center stage, front row, so you can see this. We want to make sure you get a bird's eye view of exactly how low you are. We're not going to tell you, we're going to show you where you are. See, if the only place you get to shine is in front of folk who love you, that's not justice. Please understand, it is not justice because you are now insulating the unjust and the wicked from the consequences of their actions. Lowlives, liars, bigots, idiots, clowns, morons, the weak, the pathetic, the mama's boys, the cowards. They need to experience that, yeah, everybody sees you for what you are. It needs to be that. Right there. So do not attempt to deny your haters the opportunity and the requirement to sit there and see you shine. The universe needs to be balanced for justice and injustice. When there is injustice, how you balance that is okay. And we're going to sit you over here and you're going to have to watch the just go. You tried to stop them and we're going to let you watch and see as it didn't do anything. And we're going to make sure you see that. Give them something to hate because hate eats you alive. Give them something to hate on. Give them something to hate on. Let me go ahead and jump over here on Zoom. Let me see if I can get Danger here on Zoom. All right, what's on your mind?
What's going on? They told me to give you a call. So I was just calling in.
Okay, what's your name in the chat room, sir?
Train, P-Train.
Okay, sir.
A-Y-N-E.
Okay, if they ask you to call in, then you already know why.
Nah, I don't. I said a couple things on Mr. Black. So I'm not quite sure, to be honest with you.
They always do this. All right, sir, you asked a question specifically for me, sir, and now all of a sudden he doesn't remember.
No, I mean, I can tell you some of the things I said. You were talking about the fly stuff. I said, Jason, if you had a daughter, would you raise your daughter to do fly stuff? Or would you raise your daughter to be the side piece of a rich ninja?
Okay.
That was one of the things. I laughed at one thing when dude said the DEI Oscar. I thought that was pretty funny.
Okay.
But,
well, sir,
other than that,
let me answer your question, and all of you can decide and determine whether or not what I'm saying is completely consistent. Would I raise my daughter to do fly stuff or not? And I don't see that as a juxtaposition because that's not what I would do. I would not raise my daughter to do fly stuff. I would raise my daughter to be fly stuff.
okay.
You see, men have to become, women have to be. If she fails at being, then she's failed as a woman. What is expected of a man is not expected of her, and vice versa. So I would not raise her to try to, quote, do fly stuff. I would raise her to be something fly.
What's the example of being something fly?
Okay. What is it that makes a female valuable? Her ability to nurture, her ability to have
motherly
insight,
instincts.
her ability to have wisdom, her
spiritual
ability
connection.
to be emotionally balanced, which a lot of females suffer with. What makes a female exceptional is when she doesn't suffer with it and doesn't struggle with it.
Hey, can I say this? I tell my wife all the time, a strong woman is a woman that's in control of her emotions. So I 100% agree with you on that.
Yes, girls are emotionally erratic. Women are balanced. That doesn't mean they're not informed by their emotions. That doesn't mean that they aren't more stoic than men or evenly stoic. But no, she hasn't reached full womanhood until she gets to a point where she's disciplined. And if that discipline is lacking, that's a bad thing. What attracts men to a young female is when they see these cues that usually take decades for women to finally get it right. When they find something in their 20s and she already got it, that's what sets off competition to take her off the market. Because they're like, oh, you don't need a couple of decades to get it. You already got it. So, in other words, she is ready to plug into a man's program. So that's what it means for a female to be fly. She's ready and prepared and capable right now. She's ready to go to plug into a man's program. What do you think your wife thinks of that?
I mean, all I gotta say is I've been with my wife since we was 17. So I mean, when you say you see something in them young, yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you on that. Motherly instincts, a good heart, I mean, stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, I agree with you on that part.
You
I ain't got
say
no
you've
issue
been
with
with
it.
her since you were 17. How long
Yeah.
has that been?
I'm 40. I'll be 42 in a couple months. So however long that is.
You made a statement earlier about you were telling your wife about being emotional.
No, we were just talking about some shit on, some stuff on television, and a woman was going off, and the dude came on talking about, yeah, you know, she a strong woman. That's how she doing. I'm like, baby, he's a confused young dude because he think his woman being loud and going back and forth with the laws make her strong. I'm like, that ain't what a strong woman is. A strong woman is a woman that is able to control her emotions, not let her emotions control her.
Well, I agree. The same can also be said for the men.
100%.
The more discipline a man has, the more valuable he is. The less discipline a man has, the less valuable he is.
What about accountability?
Oh, I think accountability is extremely important for men and women. But also to remember the team follows leadership.
Correct.
Now, you've been on the phone with me now for a couple of minutes and you are steady smoking on that joint.
That's not a cigarette. I do CDL work, so
Understood.
we don't do anything. We don't do anything illegal over here.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. But
I haven't had a drink in about a year and a half.
I'm glad to hear that too. But by the way, he's on the phone talking to another man over here.
Yeah, you got a good show. I mean, we're a good broadcast. It's entertaining, and you know.
I'm glad to hear that, sir.
There was
a reason why I allowed that 10, 15 seconds of silence earlier. You all did not see what I'm seeing. So I'm taking this as a teaching moment.
What's that?
You have issues with divided attention. That gives a man value too.
I mean, I was really just waiting to hear what you had to say next on that part.
Why don't you sit and meditate on that for a while? This is a teaching moment here. He was asking about daughters. I see where I can have a little bit teaching for some of the sons. sons.
Damn!
I think I can actually do a little bit more teaching here for some of the sons. Be that as it may, by the way, the folks that we told to call up here on Zoom, they have not called in here yet, and I want that to stand as a monument. I could say a whole bunch of things, but I'll let their actions do the talking for us. I'll let their actions do the speaking for us, because I want them to do that. I want them to do that. I want everybody to understand what the real math is and what the real metrics are. I also want folks to stop trying to live vicariously. I want folks to stop living vicariously. In the chat room, Dope Montana needs to be on Zoom. We'll give you 2 minutes to be on Zoom. Thank you very much for weighing in on that. We'll give you 2 minutes to be on Zoom. The biggest issue that we have today is a bunch of fellas out here content to watch somebody else on the screen excel. That's the failure point. You should be looking at Michael B. Jordan as a proof of concept. A proof of concept of how you deal with these situations, how you deal with life. That's supposed to be a proof of concept. He didn't chase the broad around. He didn't whine and mope over it. If he did it with himself, although I seriously doubt that happened. And what he did was he focused his energies on that which he completely controlled, which is himself. And next thing you know, he's eclipsed it. Which, of course, brings you to the fundamental, irrefutable conclusion, which is the picture I want to start y'all back here with. At this moment right here, where Michael is sitting on that stage, and he has finally accomplished all the things he wanted to. Then when you take a look at that moment, you got to ask yourself a question. You have to ask yourself a question. Do you want that chick standing next to you when you finally achieved this pinnacle of what you're doing? All your hard work has finally paid off. Yeah, I know how she made you feel when you two first met, but now that you've gotten to the end of this particular leg of the journey, do you still want her here? Do you still want her here? That's the issue. Let me go ahead and jump back over here on Zoom. We got Onan. Give me a call up here on Zoom. Okay. All right, Onan, what's on your mind?
All right, Brother Jason. So you had made a point that I thought was interesting about what separates girls from women, and it's their discipline and their emotional discipline, their ability to control themselves. And I thought that was an interesting point because I believe that we currently live in a culture that runs against that, where it's almost incentivized for young women and men even to act basically on their emotions and quote unquote keep it real, rather than exercise discipline. And I just wanted to get your feedback on that.
Yeah, it's real easy to sit up here and throw around, colloquialisms and stupid slogans when you're not responsible for results. Just remember, the folks who do all that, what they don't do is say, and oh yeah, by the way, when I finish talking all this crap, here's my results. They don't do that. So the internet's a place we've conditioned a whole generation now to think that the extent of their responsibility and the accountability is supposed to comment. You can be stupid as you want to be, busted as you want to be, big of a failure as you want to be, because people don't have direct access or sight of what you really got going on in the real world. So in the comments section, people have a baseline of assumption, which basically is the benefit of the doubt. What they don't have is a social FICO score next to your damn screen name that just lets them know automatically where you're performing in life, so that they have an accurate account of where you're coming from with it. So people read comments in their own voice, and you make the assumptions that they're in life where you're at. And if you had something objective to show you otherwise, it would be a whole different thing. It really, really would. So what you're noticing is these people are not responsible for results. They don't demand results. They don't look for them. It's really a generation of failures trading comments and replies among other failures. What is not is a generation of exceptional people who are giving the insights that they've gleaned from years of work and performance and experience and what they've learned. That's what you're not getting.
Yeah. And that's a big part that I believe is missing. You have the leadership essentially being dictated by the powers that be. And when I say that, I mean the media, right? Professor Black Truth, he often makes a point that the media is not in the business of entertainment, but in mind control, which I think is very pertinent. Because if one can control how you see yourself, they can also control what you do with yourself. And I think the younger generation, especially with women, they're being controlled by the media in order to see and do with themselves in a way that's detrimental to their future. Well, they may just see the glitz and glamour of it all.
I'm very glad that you mentioned that, because there's an extra element to it, though. This generation thinks that they're in control because when they log on to social media, they're not just seeing people posting things. They're also seeing pages that purport or allege to teach you how to do the same thing. You got a bunch of Facebook groups, a bunch of Instagram pages, all of them, with the intent, or at least announcing that their intention is to teach you how to do these things. How to influence other people, how to get them to do what you want, how to say the right thing. You have a whole bunch of that. There's a whole economy. Instagram is basically built on that now, what they call motivation pages. So you have a whole bunch of people out there promising to be able to teach you the tricks of the trade to basically brain hack other people. So no wonder it's so hard for a lot of these folks to see where they really rank at, because they don't know where they actually are. But by the same tune, they've also been taught here to be manipulative. They've been taught how to do that. And that's really literally where they are. So you have a lot of females out here who are studying these things. Well, how do I manipulate them? How do I say the right thing? Whether or not they're any good at it is a different matter. But they're being taught that too. They're studying these techniques too, with varying degrees of success. But they're studying these techniques too.
Yeah. Which I think is crazy, because it's essentially like the robber coming up to the victim with their mask and the brass knuckles on. You know what I mean? I mean, if you have classes where you're basically telling young women how to manipulate in order to get what they want, you have to understand that men are also looking at that too. So now we're going to be suspicious about any woman that comes into our lives and their actions, whether it's pure, what her intentions are as far as the relationship is concerned, or whether she's just trying to get something out of me.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
Okay. What do you dispute?
I don't know about that, because I think that most males today are very singular minded, and that they're socially inept for the most part, so that their life's goal becomes, I need to get money because that will fool other people into thinking that I am A, successful, and B, desirable. So they want to get a bunch of money without developing, they want to get an alpha male's money without developing any of the other traits. Let me just get that one thing, and hopefully that's big enough camouflage to be able to make the rest of that happen. And I see that's basically, we have all this wealth porn and this prosperity porn and the Andrew Tates and whatnot, and these dudes run in front of you with some expensive car and then start saying utter dreck and babble and flim flam. A lot of the folks don't like it about that, but when I bring up these things about the Kevin Samuels era, the reason why I bring it up is because that's what they were taught to do. And they've gotten together with other people who have just reinforced it. So that's what they've ended up doing. They're not holding themselves to account to say, okay, at the end of all this complaining, what are my results? Because if I don't have results, I've forfeited the right to talk. You'll have grown males, alleged grown males, who will argue with me after hearing what I just said and say, damn that, I should get to talk because I got a mouth.
Nigga, what?
I got a right to speak. I got a mouth. Okay, yeah, maybe you have a right to speak, but you don't need to be heard.
Yeah.
That's the issue. You don't need to be heard. You have to earn that. You got to earn the right to be heard. And that's as a result of your accomplishments. Once you got some points on the board, now you have credibility to speak because you've demonstrated at least the entry fee. Okay, well, maybe you have something to say because you have results to back it up. Yeah. Most males today are trying to figure out how to get the rewards without any of the actual work, much less accomplishments, because it's hard. This stuff's hard. How long has Michael B. Jordan been doing this? Over 20 years. What, 30 years now?
Yeah, since The Wire.
No, before that.
Oh.
No, he was before that. He was a child actor. I mean, a straight child. But so, yeah, they started him young. So what I'm saying is that, okay, he's getting his Oscar. Yeah, he's an overnight success after 30 years. Yeah, you're an overnight success after 30 years of constant hard work and grinding and staying focused and avoiding distractions or overcoming distractions. And to have to do that day after day after day and year after year. That's the part that's missing. The fellas want to get their Oscar, but they don't want to become a man who can get one. They just want to go stun on hoes. And I'm like, okay, you sound like the females now. You want to just be treated like I'm just standing here. Isn't that enough? I'm just here.
Yeah, you're kind of caught up with the flash and with the money and cars. You made an interesting point bringing up the Andrew Tates and the Kevin Samuels types about basically them operating on a business model where they're essentially selling a product where they have all the accoutrements of success, and then they just run down a bunch of nonsense that ostensibly would seem to work because they have all the things that speak towards their success. But it reminds me of something that Ned Betty said to Howard Beale in the movie Network towards the end of the movie. He told Mr. Howard Beale that the world is a business. And essentially I see people like Kevin Samuels and Andrew Tate basically commodifying the relationship industry in order to push a narrative, whether it be a red pill narrative or whatever it may be. But it's essentially a business model that's wrapped in a certain social engineering, specifically how to talk to women, relationships, whereas you deal with power dynamics. Right, I hear you mention that all the time, that you don't deal with relationships but power dynamics, which is why I find your opinion much more pertinent. But I'm going to land my plane there, brother. I appreciate you for taking my call.
Well, it's not just about women, though. It's also about men, which is the other part I need you to understand. These fellas want respect among other men. Women don't get you respect for yourself. Women are just another signifier. The house, the car, your accomplishments, the quality of female you have with you is yet another accomplishment. But that's not something you use with females. That's something that gets respect among other men so that they'll work with you and so on and so forth. So just understand they also want that. They want to be respected among the men. Yeah, but that requires accomplishment. And when you've been coddled all these years, accomplishment is very painful to you. It's very uncomfortable. It's very painful. It's very excruciating. You've never exerted yourself. You've never broken a sweat. You haven't anything. You just had a cell phone shoved in your hand since you were a little kid and coddled by your single mama while she roams the streets. But you were never told, here's your life's purpose and here's the hardship that goes with it, and now you are going to make it or lump it. So that you understand that this is what's expected of you, and so that eats away and gnaws at you. That you know where you're supposed to be, and if you don't accomplish that, that's a failure. That's supposed to bother you. And it does bother these fellas, which is why they glum on to all this success porn. But by the same token, they're not built to actually achieve it. You know, Joe Budden did a commentary a little while ago about that on his Patreon. I'm probably going to find that to play that for you all. But thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me see if I can get Arthur up here on Zoom for me right quick. All right, we got Arthur up here on Zoom. Turn off your speakers, sir.
Roger that.
All right, what's on your mind?
I just had one question. What makes a woman fly?
Okay, I'm pretty sure I already answered this. Maybe he wasn't paying attention during the previous call. All right, what makes a woman fly, sir? A woman's ability to nurture, to be selfless, to be wise, to be insightful, to be emotionally disciplined. Her ability to plug into your program and enhance what you are doing. Assuming, of course, you are an ambitious male who's actually doing something worthwhile. So at the end of the day, it is her ability to plug into your program as evidenced by those other characteristics. So women should be intelligent, but intelligent does not mean having a degree so that you can be cocky and be a legend in your own mind. If your intelligence is not actually practical, primarily to a man's program, it's really useless. We have a lot of know-it-all, overly talkative females out here who will just talk and talk and talk and babble forever. And they sit in psychology 101 classes and 102 classes, and they got degrees and whatnot, and they don't realize, baby, you're useless. You got a lot of babble, but you ain't said nothing. There wasn't anything useful in what you said. So you're no different from the gossiping hood rats, except you got a different vocabulary. But what you said is just as useless. And the problem is that females don't generally get told to their faces these things when they're younger. Because the problem is men will overlook anything with a female as long as she's young and sexy. Men don't, they will let a woman sit there and babble utter nonsense because he's like, okay, you're a bit of a goofball. Man, let's see if there's some sex in the end of all this babbling. And females get deceived into thinking that the fact that when she was 22 with all this motor mouth babble, and that the men didn't say, you a stupid hoe, shut up.
Sit your ass down.
Because she wasn't told that at 22 or 23, because the guys were looking at her rump and saying, okay, well, all right, she's another goofy chick. Let me just talk herself. Let me let her talk herself into exhaustion, and then let me push up on them draws. Females come out very, very deceived. So once their value starts dropping, they hit their late 20s or 30s, and then that value starts plummeting. Now the men start telling them what they really think, all that babble. Well, that's the first time she's heard it, and she doesn't really believe you because, remember, for the first 10 years of her adulthood, nobody was saying that. So she thinks the problem is you, not her. And she's going to have to encounter that a number of times consistently. And remember, it will be inconsistent because sexual vagrants and sexual scavengers are aplenty out here. Look in her DMs. Those guys are going to continue lying because they're the dregs who are even more desperate. So it would be different if men made this very clear from the beginning, but that's not what happens. So they're confused. The women are. And they're deceived for that first decade. By the time they do start listening, it's usually the game is pretty much over at that point. She's pretty much lost all the leverage she had and all her chips. And at that point right now, it's like, okay. I mean, she can listen, but the number of buyers are far less than they were.
And I had one more question. Are the more attractive women more susceptible to the negative qualities of what you just explained?
Okay, let's deal with this issue of quote unquote attractiveness. Understand something, that attractive women do not see themselves the way that you do.
What?
Attractive women don't see themselves the way that you do. Remember, most females are insecure to begin with. And a female that you might consider attractive is usually going to be insecure to begin with. She's always waiting for the other shoe to drop. That's the part they don't tell you about attractiveness. Being attractive coddles you as a female, especially if you're attractive young in life. Well, you've grown up your whole life soft and fragile. She's never had to face adversity. It's not something that she's had to fight for. So since she hasn't had to fight for it, she doesn't really know what to do if she ever meets adversity. That's the problem. She has no clue how you handle that. So in reality, she's been handicapped, which is all good so long as people treat her well. The second that she's no longer treated well, most of them break. So they become very dependent on this. They're one-trick ponies. This is all they got, is being attractive. But the other thing is, you don't know the females who are attractive on the outside and sure of themselves on the inside versus the ones that they're attractive enough for you, but in reality, she's a ball of insecurities. You don't know which is which. Not just by looking, you can't know. You have to interact with them to find that part out. Then that part reveals itself. Most females today have been taught to cake on an inch of makeup and glue on eyebrows and things. So there's a sign right there. There's not much going on. And they have excess quantities of ego and belligerence to make up for the confidence they don't have. Case in point, take a look at Cardi B. No disrespect. If we remove all of the work that she's had done on herself in the last decade, take a look at how she acts. You take a look at how she will turn on the camera, go straight to Instagram. It's like, that's the real her there. That's the real one. That's not something you can really get at face value. Not unless you've had a lot of, when a man gets old enough, we can pretty much start seeing it at face value, but that takes time. But for most females, brother, you have an idea of attractive. And the other thing is, remember, men don't have a type. We have a range. So what is, quote, attractive to you is a range. It's not a specific, okay, here's the size and here's the height and here's the breast cup. No, there's a range for you. So in that, it becomes deceptive. There are a lot of females that you'll consider attractive, and she looks in the mirror and she doesn't see that. You look like you're a grown man. I'm assuming you're not a minor. You were probably in high school with some chicks that you were like, damn, she's good looking, and then she got knocked up. And all you can say is, well, that's a waste. You thought the same thing every male thinks. Well, that's a waste. She wasted all that. She had all that potential ahead of her and blew it. Early. Well, yeah, because you're talking about a girl that cute and she just blew it early. But do you realize that she doesn't see that when she looks in the mirror?
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's the issue. You see that, but that's not the way she sees herself. And remember, if a person lacks confidence, it doesn't matter how well you make them up. That's not who they are on the inside. So how do you convince someone that they're pretty or attractive or valuable if that's not the way they really feel on the inside? All they think is that, well, I just got dressed up today. I just got dutied up today. But that's not who I really am. That these pictures you're taking of me, this doesn't really tell the truth about me. Now what? And in reality, that's most females. When you put them in the presence of a man they really want to be with, that's when the real thing comes out, how she really feels about herself. Because when the females have to face rejection, that's when you find out who they really are. Most females are shielded from it, except for the fat, ugly ones. And that's why they become belligerent. The, quote, attractive ones, they get coddled. And if they're subjected to that, usually it ends very badly. So just remember, when you take a look at females, that's not even what they see in the mirror, not what you're looking at. She doesn't see herself the same way. She might see herself an approximation that way, but I assure you she doesn't see herself the same way. Also, remember one more thing. I have to remind you all, when you take a look at a woman, I'll go ahead and change the picture up here so you all can see this to give you a visual aid for it here. When you take a look at a female, men see women's bodies and see women differently than women see themselves. Women take a look at other pretty women and they look at that the way you do a painting at the museum or the way you look at a car. When a man takes a look at a woman, you look at that as terrain. You take a look at that as geographical topography. That is a place, not an object to look at. You see, when you take a look at a woman, you see that as a place you're going. That's a destination. Women don't even have the mental equipment or vocabulary to speak that language. Do you realize that?
Yes.
There's no, how do you explain that to her in a manner in which it registers the same as for you? You can't. You'd have to be a man for this to work the same way. So you can describe it to her, but it's like describing the color blue to a blind person. Or describing the color blue to a person with a low resolution television. Let me put it like that. You both see the color blue, yeah, but you're seeing it in high def, and they're not. So you have a high definition photograph. She has a low definition, low resolution photograph. And you're trying to tell her how brilliant the colors are. And she's like, I mean, yeah, they look nice. Yeah, oh, that looks nice. And then you look to hers and see, wait a minute. No. Your picture ain't nearly as nice as mine. And she's like, the picture looks great. No, it don't. And she won't get it. Same as for you as a guy, by the way. Like, do you have the mental machinery to understand what a female finds attractive in a man?
No.
Do you want the machinery that tells you? There are certain bridges you might not even want to cross. So as a man, just understand you don't see it the same way. So she can't see it the same way. So when you say attractive, just understand that's a word for your reference. The woman you're talking to doesn't really understand it the way you do. She's probably gotten a lot of compliments. Yeah, but do you know how she's interpreting that?
No.
Yeah, there's the issue. You're saying she's attractive, but do you even understand how is she interpreting this? Is she interpreting this the way you mean it, or is she interpreting this the way somebody else described it to her, and it's not really the way you mean it? So there's the next part, because remember, a lot of females think attractive means lottery ticket. Attractive means I found a sucker. Attractive means he's weak. He'll give me whatever I want. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes, that's all the questions I had.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Wanted to touch on something else here. I wanted to touch on something else because I think that's important to take a look at also. Have an opportunity to do that. There was something put up here from Gilbert Arenas. Had one that he put up here. Gilbert Arenas had a video. There was a video that was made about something he said about the guys in the NBA. And I wanted to go over and review that tonight because I found this to be rather prescient. It answers a lot of questions directly from the source. So that's always good to have as well. A lot of questions directly from the source. I think this is rather insightful. Want y'all to go ahead and take a look at that as well. Because it explains a lot of some of the foolishness that we see out there. It explains a lot of that too. Particularly among your athletes.
Girlfriend's gonna sleep with another NBA player.
Yep.
Why y'all dating? So
Yep.
get that over you.
Yep. Because you introducing her to a life. So if she
Now, what he said is that your girlfriend's gonna sleep with another NBA player while you playing.
What?
So he kind of clipped the first part there, but that's what he's saying. Your girl's gonna sleep with another NBA player while you playing.
70% of y'all girlfriends gonna sleep with another NBA player.
Yep.
Why y'all dating? So
Yep.
get that over you.
Yep. Because you introducing her to a life. So if she
Introduce
wants
her
this
to a life that you are the beginning of.
Yep.
No matter if you're the number
That's
one
fact.
pick, you are the bottom end of it.
That is Gilbert Arenas, 3-time All-Star, a man who lived every second of the chaos he is describing. And what he just revealed about the real game being played off the court is the kind of education that used to happen behind closed locker room doors that no longer exists. By the end of this, you will understand why one rookie knocked on a hotel door during a preseason trip and immediately called Gil back and said, "It is treacherous out here in these streets." Gil went deeper. He told rookies exactly what happens when that girlfriend you think is yours gets introduced to the league.
You know, there's a Curry in the league that she been watching, LeBron in the league that she been watching, got Jason Tatum, she got John Morant. Yeah. You on the road, goddammit. You on the road. You on the road. And John Morant hit through the DM. Trust me, brother.
Because they all
You
into
gotta
hoops.
let it go.
You just got drafted. You think you are on top of the world. And Gil is telling you that in her eyes, you are the starting point, not the destination. And here is where it gets darker. Gil was not just warning rookies about what could happen. He was telling them what he personally did. He said straight up,
I want the groupies and yes, I do. Yes, I do. That's why we're here. As soon as I get my money, bro, I'm going to the Instagram and I'm about to flex on everybody who wouldn't get me done.
that is
Oh, really? Say that one more again.
I'm going to the Instagram and I'm about to flex on everybody who wouldn't get me done.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for saying the quiet part out loud. I appreciate that. He didn't tell you I'm going to the club. He didn't tell you I'm going to the strip. He didn't tell you I'm going to the college. He told you I'm going straight to Instagram, straight to the DMs. What? Okay, he's not speaking just for himself. He's speaking for all the athletes. It's like, dude, why I got to go out hunting? It'll come to me. Oh, but then a bunch of them still got to go out hunting anyway, which is the crazy part about it. But most of them still got to go hunting. So he's telling you, by the way, as soon as I get my money together, damn investments, damn long term, damn any of that, where the hoes at? Remember, I just finished speaking to the young men about people with insecurities. We're talking about the females. By the way, the males are stews of insecurity also, who believe that if I can just get some money, that will compensate for all the other characteristics that I don't have. That's the problem. They didn't go to the league because they wanted to make a mark on the world. They went to the league because, well, give me some money so that I can compensate for the character traits and personality that I don't even have. And he told you, give me that check there so I can go hit the DMs. So to the fellas out there, by the way, if you want to know what's in the Instagram DMs of these females, these hoes be acting stuck up. Nigga, Gilbert Arenas is in her DMs.
Nigga, what?
Fellas, do you think that women are going to be humble when you are in the same direct message inbox with Gilbert Arenas? With Ja Morant? With Kevin Durant? So you're in the same inbox with them dudes. You're in the same hunting grounds with them. I mean, the fellas used to be coy about it. Now they're finally at least coming out and saying it. At least they're now coming out and saying it. So that just lets you know it's at epidemic proportions. Most of the damn league is off in these chicks' DMs. And they hunting for the baddest of the bad. And a bunch of them who aren't. What? By the way, not just the baddest of the bad, a bunch of them who ain't. There's the killing part about it. She doesn't even have to be a 10 or a 8. She can just be good enough to do. So even for the chicks that you think, these guys are above that, have you seen some of the chicks Zion Williamson running around with?
Damn!
Have y'all seen what Zion got? Just in case you thought they was going to be baddies only. No, so some of the chicks that you thinking, okay, well, she's low enough hanging fruit. The NBA ain't looking over here. And there's Zion Williamson right there. Hey, baby, well, you want to go for a ride, my Bentley? So, yeah, if you think that there are safe options there, I mean, if you get something like Sidibe, okay, now if you grab Sidibe, I suppose she's, off limits. But other than that, no, fellas.
And I'm about to flex on everybody who wouldn't give me none.
That is not a man pretending to be above it. That is a man telling you the raw, unfiltered truth about what money and fame does to a young player. And Gil took it further. He told rookies,
Hey, y'all think listen, you think you got 2-3 girls? Man, I had it in a rotation, baby. Boom, 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 boom.
Easy.
Every city. You ain't even got you ain't even got swag like I did. Right? Us coming in, you the number one pick, but you ain't got that swag like me.
this was not.
I want to back this up so y'all can hear exactly what he just said.
Listen, you think you got 2-3 girls? Man, I had it in a rotation, baby. Boom, 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 boom.
Easy.
Every city. You ain't even got.
Did y'all hear that? He said I had him in a rotation every city. That was the part I heard right there. He said, I had him in a rotation in every city. He didn't just have a rotation. He got a rotation in every city. How many NBA cities are there? I think they're getting ready to do an expansion.
Nigga, what?
I think they're getting ready to do an expansion to Seattle and Las Vegas, as a matter of fact. So they about to, however many teams they got, they're about to have more. I think that's going to give them 32 teams, actually. So I think they're going to be equal to the NFL. But in any case, he just told you a rotation in every city. Not a rotation in every city. If they got 30 teams, and even if he only has 3 chicks in every city.
Damn!
Okay. You talk about applying the pressure. So he's letting you know, dude, you ain't doing nothing. I got a rotation in every city, and you ain't even a name. You was number 1 draft, but don't nobody know who you are. I got playing cards and T-shirts and everything. I got the name recognition already. When you talk about the swag, I got the name recognition already. You trying to get yours. I got mine and been out here before you. So you getting whatever I got, whatever I left over. You gonna get a shot at whatever I left over. Do y'all know how many females are in this chat room tonight who've been up under something from the NBA or the NFL?
Oh, please.
By the way. Ladies, if you dated an NBA player, give me the basketball emoji in the chat room. And if you've ever dated an NFL player, give me the football emoji in the chat room. And if you've ever dated a soccer player, give me the soccer ball emoji in the chat room, ladies. Just one time. Just tell the truth on yourself just once. You ain't got to do it 50 times. Just do it once. Just one time so you can go ahead and get that off your chest, or you can go ahead and keep lying. I mean, you can do that too.
Every city. You ain't even got the name. You ain't even got swag like I did. Right? That's coming in. Yeah, you the number one pick, but you ain't got that swag like me.
This was not bragging. This was a veteran, stripping away every fantasy a rookie walks into the league with. Gil was telling them the truth that nobody in their circle would ever say out loud. Your boys will not tell you. Your agent will not tell you. The league certainly will not tell you. But Gil would, because he had already been through it and come out the other side knowing exactly what it cost. And Gil had the stories to prove it. He talked about his own relationship falling apart because of what he saw with his own eyes.
And she was a little too friendly with teammate and told my assistant that was working for me, hey, we get back, I need you to come in the room and help her get her shit. And she like, what you doing? I said, where you gonna sleep tonight? Huh? You a little too friendly. You laugh. Nigga,
She wasn't even that
he said a joke. Yeah, you put your hand on his...
Done. No second chances. No conversation. That was the mentality. But the wildest part was the culture around it. Gil described how players used to call each other out in real time.
Man, which one of y'all got such and such here tonight? Yeah, I'm calling them out. As soon as we get in that, hey, man, which one of y'all? And whoever.
Players would compete over the same women, and nobody blinked. Gil said,
we used to see who they like better. I'm about to hit it. Hey, yo, hey, shirt, I'm about to come over today. She don't like it. She told, she said she going out today. We was petty.
Okay, so if you all ever wanted to know the explanation of how it is that these chicks get passed around from one athlete to another, I mean, you might think it's boneheaded, but by the way, they're explaining to you where that comes from. Oh, you think you got that chick and... okay, I'm going to be petty. They on some 50 Cent stuff. Oh, I bet you I can pull your broad. I can pull your baby mama. He just sat there and told you. They get off the damn bus. Okay, who got this chick over here? Who got Aisha? Who got Sue over here? Okay. Who got Becky over here? And they're letting y'all know it's just when they get off the bus, they're talking. Now they're talking to each other. Okay, who got her? Oh, you got her? Okay. Hey, nigga, she just told you that she busy tonight. Yeah, because she just DM me. Yeah, she gonna be busy, all right. Okay, shit. Yeah, you said you had that locked down, remember? You said you had that locked down. Okay, she giving you excuses. She giving me plate. So he's telling you all exactly what's happening. This is in sports. This is in music. This is in movies, but it's really big in sports. So these females know who they're targeting. They know what these guys' mentality is. They know the mentality of the athletes. They know the mentality of the league. They know the schedules. They know how these guys operate. Hell yeah, they're then laid up under a bunch of them. So yeah, they're letting y'all know there are no surprises around here.
Hey, yo, hey, shirt, I'm about to come over today. She don't like it. She told, she said she going out today. We was petty.
That was the environment. That was the locker room energy nobody talks about. But even inside all that chaos, there was a code. Gil laid it out plain.
Your main chick, your wife, your girlfriend.
Off limits.
Special work, off limit.
Off limit.
Those are protected. Whoa. After that?
Yeah. Those are safe. I guess it depends on who you're talking to. Because as we all know, that ain't... I guess he's giving that to us in principle.
Off limit.
Those are protected. Whoa. After that?
Yeah.
Up for...
There were rules. And when those rules got broken, there were consequences.
The way the chick get off the elevator, thought she saw a ghost.
Mm-hmm.
Face white.
Yeah, I'm about to say, yeah.
How can you put her head down and start walking fast? She with her bag.
We know why
damn, Barney.
Yeah.
She got caught, and everybody knew it. That is what the road was. A hotel full of secrets where nothing actually stayed secret. Every floor, every elevator, every lobby. Somebody always saw something. And in that world, your reputation was the only currency that mattered. Now here is the part that changes everything. Gil explained that these women were not naive. They were not confused. They were professionals. This was not some accident. This was a system. And the women inside that system had been doing it longer than most of these players had been in the league. And this is where the real villain of the story reveals itself. It is not the women. It is not the players. It is the absence of guidance. Gil and Matt Barnes both made this painfully clear. The old NBA had a built-in protection system. I came in the league and there was dudes that are 30, 830, 940. Whether they contributed on the court or not, they were instrumental in the locker room, on the road, putting their arm around you, teaching you what suits to buy, how to eat, how to not blow your money on, and watch out for these. They just used to give you real life game, and now the league is
so young now that, vets are 32, 33 sometimes, and that's like, that's not necessarily a vet.
Now, you'll all remember I told you all about this going on decades ago, back during the Ray Rice incident. I talked to you all about this back during the Ray Rice incident when I told you all that he didn't need to be married to her because she is not ready to be a wife of the league. If you got a man who's in the NFL, that's the reason why you have to have an NFL wife. Emphasis on the NFL part. She needs to be a woman who is suitable and suited to be a part of the NFL because that's what she is. And you got a chick in the NBA. She needs to know what it's like to be an NBA wife. The men got the places they going. The women got the places they going. You're supposed to fit in with the cream of the crop where they're at. So this is what the fellas say. Hey, this is how you need to dress. This is where you get the cars. Let me go ahead and hook you up with the jewelry here. Here's the barbershop. So you get taken under their wings so that all those rough edges you taken from your childhood and grade school because you fresh out of college, dude, you're a professional now. And you're part of a super elite fraternity in the NBA. That means NBA means you are the best of the best. That you are the best on the planet. Okay, we operate a certain way here, and it ain't your way. Those are the parts that's missing, the mentorship that's missing, and that's for the males and the females. For the girlfriends, for the wives, that's why they're not comporting themselves like that. As the numbers have gone down, that institutional knowledge and institutional culture has broken down. And now you got dudes out here getting the local scuzzy hussy pregnant and porn stars pregnant. And I mean, it's just a complete collapse of discipline. Now they up here sniping at each other's wives and things. So there ain't no code of conduct. It's not a code of conduct. It's an anything goes. Everything's raggedy. And this is what happens when you have a complete collapse in discipline. But I wanted to play that for you all so you could hear these fellas explain to you exactly what it is, especially the last part you just heard where they told you, by the way, with these females, she is not naive. Damn! She's not naive. You don't end up going from P. Diddy to Scrappy or Bow Wow or whoever to all the other dudes in between, the Michael B. Jordan. You don't do that being naive. You are not a naive chick operating that way. That's not what you are. One more thing for the bumble asses in the internet era. By the way, you're never going to hear anything from Lori Harvey about Michael B. Jordan or vice versa, because have you forgotten that you're in the world of NDAs? What? Damn! By the way, for those of you listening to YouTubers and talking about they heard a rumor, they heard some gossip, you're not going to hear anything. These are staunch, hardcore residents of the world of NDAs. Lori Harvey's not going to say anything about Michael B. Jordan. And vice versa, you're not going to hear anything. Just like she hasn't said anything about Diddy. That's not the world that these folks are in. If the relationship breaks up, you charge that to the game. The internet will say whatever they say. You got to charge it to the game. It's not going to be a public statement from her. So to any of your YouTubers out there bait clicking you, giving you clickbait and lies and things, by the way, you're supposed to be smarter than that. As soon as you see them say Lori Harvey said or whatever, I'm telling you right now, that's a lie. Don't even bother clicking on it because it's going to be garbage. They're not going to show you that she said anything and said his name. She's not going to say his name. Just that quickly you all got goofy and forgot that that's not the way that works. No. You're not going to hear anything. But I will tell you what's going on. She's not stupid. You see who raised her. She's not naive. However, the caliber of options that she has is dropping like a stone. And right now, I predict she's going to hold on to Damson Idris for dear life because in case y'all didn't hear it, oh, it's off in the distance. I hear it coming. Oh, boy. Yeah, that sound right there. Whether she believes it or not. All aboard! Yes, Lori Harvey. See, baby, your rep is out there, and now niggas are starting to do the math on where them draws been. I have it on very good authority that Damson Idris is the last train leaving. Who knows? Maybe you can do like your mama in 20 years and go grab you a pension pimp. The problem is all the dudes you done slept with, baby, they ain't looking to pick you up for a second time. So you ain't going to be able to spin the block for them. Your mama could spin the block for Steve Harvey. He was an awkward square and always has been and always will be. The dudes you've been with, those aren't the awkward squares. So no, spinning the block for them is not really an option. So I suggest you hold on to Damson because I have it on good authority that that is the last train leaving. You can jump back out there and see if you can roll the dice one more time, but just understand it's going to be straight up hoeing at this point. The very best you can expect to do is do like the rapper Eve and see if you can go find some white stand with nostalgia. See if you can do that one right there. But as far as having the man and having shine, oh, forget about that. Forget about that. That's over. You're not going to the Oscars. You're not going to the Grammys. I don't even think you're going back to the Met Gala. What? No, baby, all that's over. It's just time to see if you can just go get you a retirement ticket. That's what you can do. You see, your mama knew Steve Harvey when he was a nobody. The fellas you done talked to, baby, ain't none of them returned to being a nobody. So, that's not really going to work for you. It's going to be some tough lessons to learn up in here. And these are lessons for everybody else. For the men in particular, please understand. Stop with the damn hoping and wishing and fantasizing and play acting and make believing. The secret sauce is that Michael B. Jordan kept striving and being competitive. He set large goals for himself and he never stopped pursuing them. Not average goals. He's an above average dude. The reason that this is news, the reason this is a story is because he didn't just get a promotion at his job. He set an extraordinary goal and he stayed on it. That's how you get folks to take a look at the chick you was with and be like, damn, girl, how the hell did you fumble that? And let me go ahead and deal with something else here before I jump back on Zoom, because I got to tell y'all, see, this right here, I've got thousands of you listening here right now, so let me take this as a moment to educate you and update your files.
Join me, and I will complete your training.
I'm pretty sure that all of you have seen those shorts on Instagram where they ask you, where they ask you, particularly the women, there's more of them from the women than there are from the men, asking you if you'd be okay if the dude hit you in the eye for a $10 million. Y'all seen them shorts? Y'all seen those reels on Instagram? Y'all seen those? Would you get hit in the eye for $1 million? You'd be like, man, you better hurry up and bust me in the eye. Those are the exact same chicks who'll sit up here and tell you about what they wouldn't tolerate from a man. Damn! By the way, one more thing. Those are the exact same females. Look in the comments of those videos. Take a look at the comments of those reels. Take a look at the never-ending laundry list of females in there that they just like, man, are you kidding? I'll strap up your boxing gloves for you. Okay, I don't want to see a bunch of females in here trying to act like they wouldn't when you know damn well you would. There's a whole briefcase in front of you, access to $5 million, and no, not me. You take a look at the comment section on those things. Them chicks are like, look here, dude, what are you talking about? They'll punch their mama. She was soccer own mom. She was super soccer own mom. Yeah, these will be the same chicks who will tell you what they wouldn't tolerate from a 7-figure dude. And yet I can show you documentation on these videos in the comment section where the women are falling over each other to say what they would do and what they would tolerate. Oh, I'm not supposed to say that to y'all? Yeah. We just had a moment of the dark arts, by the way. A little bit of a moment of the dark arts. But by the way, if you want to know what the psychology really says, you want to know what their psychology really is, you go take a look at those videos. Yeah, like there were a few of them with the women like they had like black eyes and were counting their money. What?
Nigga, what?
Yeah, I know y'all have seen them videos. There were a few of them with the women, they like had black eyes and were counting their money. Would you get hit in the eye for $1 million and she had a black eye and sitting there counting her money? If you don't think these chicks out here is gangster as hell, you got them sitting up here, got you talking stupid and you talking silly. Meanwhile, these chicks is gangster as hell. She's got you believing she's a soft flower and she needs to be coddled, and she's sitting over there like damn me Al Capone with the cigar hanging out of her mouth talking about where my money. No, I'm not joking. Come on, okay, I'm not gonna do this all night, but you all can go look them up for yourselves if you want to. I mean, they're all over the damn place. Yeah, there's a bunch of y'all in here who've already seen them. I'm not breaking news. Yeah, they'll be quick to tell you what's abusive and what they wouldn't take, and I wouldn't take that, and you crazy as hell. And meanwhile, sitting right there, I mean, need a money counter to go through all them bills. And thought nothing of it. Okay, men do it all the time. We call it boxing. Damn! Okay, men get out there and whatnot till they get their brains beat in. I think Thomas Hearns is looking at going into conservatorship now or whatever. His family got to take over for him. Men been playing that game now for centuries. You just tell yourself, the women ain't built like that. She ain't built like that for you because ain't no money on the table. She ain't built like that for you because there's no actual money on the table. Throw that briefcase up on the table and see what happens then. You're going to find out all kinds of things. See, she's not the fool. You are. And women are happy. Like women, ladies, just be honest. Y'all are happy when men are stupid. Like when men underestimate you. Y'all know full damn well men believe a bunch of nonsense and idiocy that you don't believe. And you all know that. You know the men don't really believe. You don't really believe any of those things. But you're like, okay, as long as they go for it, okay, that's fine. Yeah, because he's underestimating you. And women like that because that means she's got the advantage. She knows something that you don't know. If she knows something you don't know, she's like, okay, I got the advantage. And if you're a guy that she wants to exercise and leverage that advantage against, she's like, okay, I got the edge on you. He doesn't know what I will do. No wonder so many men get blindsided and talk about, I never saw it coming. I didn't know that she would go for a guy like that. I didn't know she would cheat on me with a guy like that. I didn't know she was like that. Yeah, they want you to believe that. Oh, baby, I would never do that to you. There's a bunch of fellas in here right now. You've gotten divorced. You've gone through the child support ringer with a female walking in the door all the time you were with her talking about what she wouldn't do and she wasn't like that. Oh, I'd never do that. I'm not like these other chicks there. Well, you got to find somebody else for that because I would never do that. You got to talk to someone else for that because I would never do that. And there's a whole bunch of fellas in here had to learn the hard way. Man, that's a line. That's a line they feed you. And they love you sitting up thinking, oh, she would never do that. And she's like, okay, I got over on his ass. And he's over there talking about I wouldn't do it. And then there's some fellas she was with that she did do it for. Oh, man. I want to see if I can look something up here real quick. While I do that, let me see if I can jump back over here on Zoom. All right, we got Prince up here on Zoom. What's on your mind, brother?
Yeah, brother, I want to ask you a question. Given what Gilbert Arenas was saying, you know, the women wouldn't talk to him, and once he became famous and a high paid athlete, and I remember Tupac saying that he walked in the club and the woman wouldn't speak to him until she found out who he was. Do you think men engage in revenge sex, or men don't necessarily see it like that?
Well, no, I mean, it's about validation. If you feel that you have not been validated, if you feel that you missed out on something, that becomes fuel, which is a good thing. When you're holding a grudge about something and you feel invalidated, then that becomes fuel for you. And that becomes motivation for you, especially if you feel aggrieved. So most men throughout history, that has been a catalyst for them. That's not the problem. The problem is when you make a woman your goal. You make a woman your goal or a woman your purpose, because by definition, you're shifting the power over to her. When you have a purpose that serves you, you can feed everything you got into it because that's going to all belong to you. When you make a woman your purpose, well, you're feeding everything into her, which means it will belong to her.
Now, do you think, brother, you said this before, but my memory's kind of bad. With Michael B. Jordan, and when our brother, he did an interview with a woman he went to school with, and how she ignored him when he was, young and skinny, and he made it a point. Do you think he was being petty, or he was establishing a fact of authority, or what do you think was going on there?
I think both. I mean, the shoe's on the other foot. The shoe's on the other foot, and it's like, okay, you had your turn, now I got mine. And she's not a female that he really is going to be checking for in the future, so he doesn't have anything to lose. So, no, I mean, that's the way that goes. That's the way that goes right there. And furthermore, that's the way it should go. It should go that way. There are going to be consequences for your actions. And the real issue we have today is that most males are so damn starved for sex that there are no consequences for females doing things they shouldn't do. Therefore, the women don't think there's anything they shouldn't do because there are no consequences for it. Totally. They just figure, okay, you're so desperate and thirsty, you'll be mad for a minute and then you'll let that go. And then I can just get back to what I was doing. And that's the real issue that we have. Fellas will talk about that, but then the chicks will get a pass. This is where the pinch and pimping is so damn stupid. The salary simping is so damn stupid, because what you're really saying is it doesn't matter what the women do. There'll be some aardvark dude out there who's going to ultimately give them a pass for it. And whatever he's worked for, paltry or modest as it may be, he'll go ahead and park it there. So there's no penalty for that behavior. You've removed the penalty for it.
So let me ask you this here. Is it the fact that women see their attractiveness as like a tactic that they use? They don't know, I guess you would say, like you say, if we see a dude that's muscular or like a Michael B. Jordan, I don't see him. I just see him, young man, he got it together. But no, I don't see him, so as a sex symbol or something like that. We don't view men like that. So women.
Success makes everybody sexier.
Yeah. So with a woman, her attractiveness, she just knows she's getting attention from men. She knows why, somewhat, or she's not clear on what it does to a man's brain, is what you're saying.
Well, most women know the effect of it, and they know it's very useful. So most women know the effect of it, and that's good enough for them, is that it works. The real problem is that most women don't know why it works. So that's what puts them in a disadvantage, is that they have this thing that works, but they don't actually know why it works. And as a result of that lack of knowledge and deficiency, she can't really make it stick. So she's one-dimensional. When a woman knows what sex appeal really is and knows why it really works, well, that gives it staying power.
Okay.
Because most women, remember, being attractive is like being athletic. It's a fluke of genetics. It's a fluke of chance. That's not something that you control. You didn't choose that at birth. That's just a fluke of your parents. So you become dependent on that as a crutch, because you didn't actually build it. You might polish it, but you didn't actually make yourself that.
No.
That's the difference. You didn't actually build it. So since you didn't actually build it, you don't know why it works. You don't know the real intricacies that make the total package. So you focus a lot on the exterior, but you don't understand that the exterior really just greases the skids for the other character traits. And if you have the whole package, that's what sticks. If all you are is a pretty face, what women don't understand is, baby, pretty faces are a dime a dozen.
Yes.
Sexy females are a dime a dozen. There's nothing special or fantastic about that. But if your attractiveness is a packaging for these other traits that he does have to invest in, that's where the value comes from. But it doesn't help you if you don't even know this. You just figure all I gotta be is cute and everything else just kind of falls into place, right? And that's what happens.
Till the next cute woman come along. Jason, you making a key point. Coach Prime, Deion Sanders was multi-talented, could play baseball, and he could play football. He ran track, did other things. But what do you think he kept himself from being just one-dimensional or one-trick pony with athleticism? How do you think he was able to package it and commercialize himself,
I mean, look, if the world underestimated Deion Sanders and they just felt that he was just another dumb athlete, that's the world's fault. Deion Sanders was always a thinker. Deion Sanders was always seeing how to hustle the NFL. So he was like Chad Ochocinco. Chad had no intention of going to the NFL and leaving some broke dude. So if people didn't understand this or didn't see this because they were myopic, because their frame of reference were all the guys who failed and did it wrong, well, that's the world's fault. But if they were actually looking at Deion back in the 90s, you realize, oh, he's on something different. When he gave himself that nickname and he was all about merchandising. Remember, he put out a rap album and stuff. Deion was always thinking and always leveraging that. He was very, very aware that this could end at any moment. So he was always about maximizing his gains from it. That was who he always was. That wasn't new. That wasn't something he just picked up in the last 5 years. He did that while he was playing. So if the rest of sports media and everybody else just totally dismissed that or overlooked it or didn't get it, that's their fault. But that's not because that wasn't who he was.
Okay. I'm going to ask you a question. I believe a man in your position probably could answer. Do you think women that can pull or get with a producer, they qualify for it? Do they still desire to be attracted to other men too? The average man also, they want them, or is it like that? Or are they just moving in that?
Do you think the women are?
Yeah. So let's say the women that can attract the producer or be with producer, and they in line with that. Yes, they attracted to producers, but do you think they want not just the producers to be attracted to them, but also the average man in general?
Well, yeah, I mean, women can't get enough attention. So, yes, they do want to be desired. They want to be objects of desire anywhere and everywhere they go. So they can't get enough of that. The real thing is about what they ultimately want to give access to them. Now, there's where the break-off is. So, yeah, they want all of you to look and they want all of you to adore the same way like if you were a rapper and you were given a concert. Well, there's 50,000 women there screaming your name. Well, how much attention do you want? I want attention from all of them. How much sexual access do you want to give? Oh, these two up front. What about the other 49,998? Yeah, they can go home. They paid their tickets. So that's the way women are. Same way.
Okay, yeah. I was watching a Boosie Collins concert from the 70s, and this man, rock star. And how the women were responding the same thing you were saying. They were doing the same thing back then. And boy, he was talking sexual. Now, brother, I want to ask you a question. Now, I'm not trying to be unfair to Will Smith, but do you see any contrast or difference between the way, Michael B. Jordan approached things? Or do you think there's no comparison? These are two isolated situations, how when they receive, their Oscar.
Yeah, I mean, it's two totally separate things there. I mean, Will Smith thinks that he owns Hollywood and he's the reason Hollywood is there, and he found out the hard way he's not. Isn't that crazy? Biggest night of the year. The Oscars are actually something worth watching to a certain extent this time. And Will Smith is banned for a decade. And to be totally honest, it won't just be a decade.
No,
because the real thing is that if he ever shows up again, first of all, he's going to be a lot older. He ever shows up again, he's still going to be a pariah. So he's really screwed himself royally. Michael B. Jordan is focused on the damn goal. He never would have reacted like that in the first place. So what Will did was demonstrate that he never should have been here in the first place. That's what he really did. He just never should have been there.
Do fly chicks travel in packs?
Yes, but that can be dangerous because they don't like that kind of competition. They usually, if they have similar instincts and similar knowledge, they're both going to zero in on whoever the top guy is, and they're not going to back down. So the way the females operate is he's yours if you can take him. Now, remember, with men, that's dangerous because another fella do that there and whatnot. Okay, this dude's in your face. He's not going to be talking to you about that. But with women, they know that it's, especially if they're pretty women, it's very unlikely it's going to get physical or like that. So what's going to happen is if they see the same guy, I mean, they can travel together, but that's going to be very hazardous. Because they're going to see who the top rated fella is, whoever he is, and they're all going to be like, I'm supposed to be with him. And the fact that you saw him is not going to prevent these other chicks from making a move. Soon as you go to the bathroom, you know what's happening.
Oh, that's
if
why
you go outside, if he leaves your presence for a second, she's going to try to figure out a way to get there. Or, okay, you were here now. What hotel is he in? What room is he in? Well, when's he going to the airport? So if they really want him, no, it's having your fly friends there. The bottom line is what I've told you all. The pretty women are abundant. Successful men with a personality are rare.
Exactly.
Pretty women are not rare. Successful men with personalities are. And they can't afford to let him leave because they're just entirely too rare. So, and the other chick said something, but unless he dropped to one knee and asked her to marry him right here, right now, he's still fair game.
So even though women may have a Rolodex of men, there's going to be very few that are actual producers that they want to be with. If they're tens, if they own that, that's what because I'm saying, okay, this woman has access to several men, and the others just seem like they would say, hey, why they get fixated on the one man?
Because there's usually only going to be one guy who's not awkward or whatever, because finding fellas with money is not hard. Men who make more money than women is not hard because most men make more money than women, despite the garbage they say on the internet. The only women talking about they don't like the money that men make is the ones who, baby, that's the best you can do. The universe is trying to tell you what your value is. And the women make endless videos and endless shorts complaining, when in reality, she's complaining about her pay grade. You don't qualify for better. But when it comes to that, you know, like I said before, they make it a one-trick pony. If I get my money together, that should fix everything. And that should be the only thing I'm wanted for. And in reality, women want a number of things. They want a man to be everything. They want him to be a soldier and a poet and a killer and a baker and a politician and a doctor and a preacher and a sinner. I mean, they want you to be a stew of conflicting tendencies, all in one package and perfectly balanced. Okay. This is why being the nice guy will never work, because in reality, women are lying to you. She doesn't want a nice guy. She wants a sinner she wants a bad boy who is nice to her from time to time. She does not want a saint. She wants a sinner who is respectable. Which is why they gravitate to gangsters.
I'm about to say gangsters.
What did the mafia under Joe Bonanno? Well, they called themselves men of respect.
Yes.
Now, that was the way they saw themselves. Don Fanucci and the rest of them. Oh, we are men of respect. The Black Hand. We're not gangsters. We are men of respect. That's the way they saw themselves. Never mind this guy we chopped up in the trunk. Don't worry about him. But that's the way that women think. They want all this package of conflicts and contradictions all packaged in one man. And so that's why even trying to be the nice guy, it's like, you don't get it. You don't get it. You don't understand. And eventually you're going to get Pierce Morganed. And I'm just saying, now he's giving the whole world his whole card. So he can't talk trash anymore because all folks got to do is bring up his wife, and that's the end of him. But that's the whole point of it is, and for you to understand that. The other thing is that women want the man who can see that she's not being forthcoming.
Oh, yes. Call it out.
Well, I mean, women want you. They're looking for the guy who she sits there and acts like she's a little Miss Nice, and you're the fella who knows there are no nice girls. But she's not going to tell you that because she knows men don't commit to chicks who say, I'm a bad girl now. What we going to do? They'll sleep with you for years, but they won't commit to you. Who the hell would? What fool would? Women understand this. So they're looking for the man who can see through all those things and can balance that. That is very rare. And at the end of the day, a woman is looking for a man she can be passionate about. You can't fake that. You can't fake it. You can go get all the rebound dudes you want to or whatever, but people can see body language will give you away. You're not passionate. We saw the men you were passionate about with Michael B. Jordan, and we're looking at everything else. It's not the same. You're different. Now you're trying to force something. And it's very obvious from your body language, your mannerisms. Hey, you're not acting the same. That smile ain't as big and as broad. You ain't showing them teeth like that. Who are you trying to convince, us or yourself?
Right.
And so there's where the problem comes in. Women want passion. Why do you think they have got romance novels and soap operas? Passion is not a product of a calm, quiet environment. I want my peace. Then you don't want passion.
Oh, Lord.
Passion is loud and noisy and tumultuous. They weren't lying on Scandal. When Olivia Pope told you, I don't want a happy relationship, I want heartache and anger and vitriol. Yes, that's what women want, a soap opera. They want their own personal soap opera in their lives. Why do they want you to be successful? So that other people can be spectators and viewers of their soap opera.
Right.
Nobody wants to see you driving around in your 1989 Chevy Cavalier having a falling out with your girlfriend and your wife. Nobody wants to see this. This is just raggedy. However, if you're making $3 million a year and you pulled up in the Bentley and, oh, okay, and she's upset with you with her Birkin bag, oh, well, that's different.
Jason, let me tell you, one thing I want to tell you, thank you for the advice you gave a couple years ago to my daughter. She's doing good at an accounting firm. This is going to be her second year, and they put her in a position to start help, more leadership positions. She's working over at BP, a firm is over there. But I told her, like you were saying, always have your options to make sure you develop so you can get your own business eventually, but also you have the option to leave to greener pastures if you need to. So build those relationships while you're working at BP and these other gas and oil industries of where you work. And because I say you don't want them to have you train the person that's going to be your boss. So never get too comfortable at one
Well, that
place.
can happen either which way it goes, but thank you very much. You're very welcome about that. But that can happen either which way it goes. Her value needs to be in herself. And no matter what a company does, when you have value in yourself, that's something that goes with you.
Okay.
And that's something that people are very reluctant to want to give up. I'll let you have the last word.
Okay, Jason, but like I say, I told you a couple years ago, I ain't tell you got it, but I got a car. She has this RAV4 Woodland or something, but it's a real nice car, something she can go around, gas efficient and nice, got a little sunroof and stuff. Now, my question to you, brother, is that, women want all these dynamics in men. If you want to say it, or you can say it for tomorrow on Patreon, I want to know how you able to navigate between two worlds, because I saw you talking to your football, one of your football friends, professional football player, and how you can just communicate and come to relax, but then you can come back and talk to us. How can you navigate between these two worlds? And
experience is not enough for you to watch these things on TV. You need to expose yourself to these things. You need to talk to gangsters. You need to talk to bankers who are probably both one and the same, to be totally honest. You need to talk to poor people. You need to talk to rich people. You need to talk to smart people. You need to talk to dumb people so you can recognize what stupidity really is. Because there's a lot of folk who got a good rap and they dumb as hell. You need to talk to a wide variety of people. Expose yourself to a wide variety of people, not to be friends with them, but to learn.
Yes.
I want exposure to everything that's out there so that when I see them in the future, it's not the first time I met it. Now I know what I'm looking at, and I know how to comport myself, and I know how to behave, and I know how to respond to it, even if the response needs to be to keep the door locked. So exposing yourself. What happens is a lot of folks out here, they only want to meet people who like them and people that they like. They only want to meet people that they're comfortable with. They don't want to be around people that they're uncomfortable with or might be uncomfortable with them. They don't meet people who are aspirational. So what ends up happening is they end up shielding themselves from other people and other situations and other environments. That's what ends up happening. And as a result, you rob yourself of the ability to become multisyllabic. You rob yourself of the ability to have an expanded vocabulary. You rob yourself of the ability to interact in these other places. I told y'all there before, like for the professional athletes stuff, I can do a lot of things, but the parties are not really something I could do. I don't have a problem going, but I know my limits, and I know it would be a bad thing for me to go because, you see, there's going to be a bunch of stuff going on there that I simply don't do. Right. I'm not talking about the regular free golf. I'm talking about just basic things like drinking and smoking. I don't do that. So I know that my presence there can be an obstacle. It can be awkward. I don't have a problem with them doing what they're doing, but I'm smart enough to know, don't ruin your place with them by being a downer on it. So all I tell them is, if anybody needs a designated driver, give me a holler. I'm not very far away. I'm serious. If anybody needs a designated driver, I'm not very far away. There's no reason for you to end up on TMZ, for something stupid or silly. And that's fine. I can do that. The rest of it, I know if I'm even there, you're all going to notice I ain't doing it. And I'm just saying, what is that? It's like, okay, why is he here and he ain't doing nothing we're doing? He's just sitting over there looking. It's one thing when a female does it. It's another thing when a guy does it. So if you don't have the sense to realize how conspicuous you are with this, then you're going to make it where you're not welcome. So I understand what it is, and I respect those boundaries, even though nobody put a boundary on me. Your exposure to those environments makes you smart enough to understand, okay, here's how I have to move in this environment. They can have their parties, but my interaction needs to be limited because I'm not going to do what they're doing. Not that I have a problem with them, but this is just not what I do. Okay, make it where you can be invited to the next one.
Okay.
Things like that. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Yeah, man, know your place in it there, know your sensibilities. Know what you can do, know what you don't. Be smart enough that you're avoiding awkward situations. You know, with people that you don't like, you want to make an awkward situation. With people you cool with, you don't want to make an awkward situation. So just recognize, okay, this isn't what I do here. My job is to make sure I don't create an awkward situation. Because it's okay for them to do that. Okay, my presence is going to be a downer. Well, Jason, you said if the females are there, they can do it. Okay, Negro, y'all take a look on your screens. Yeah, the females can just sit in the corner. She ain't got to drink. She ain't got to smoke. She ain't got to do nothing. The females can just be there. Yeah, that's the way it works for the chicks. She doesn't have to drink or smoke nothing, and she is just as welcome. So, yeah, for the men, it doesn't work that way for us. You should be sensible enough and smart enough to understand that this doesn't work for you that way. This is not going to work for you the same way. So the women can be wallflowers. There's something else they can do. The men, no, you don't get to do that. You don't get to do that. Okay, let me see here. I want to jump back on Zoom. Okay, Mark.
Yeah, Jason, I think you made some good points, but I think you probably missed something.
Okay, point down some, sir. I don't see you.
There
you go.
There we go.
All right, Mark, what's on your mind?
Yeah, you mentioned that that a lot of these ladies, they want somebody who can see through them, who can see they're not. I don't really necessarily think that's true. I really don't, because they don't really like a lot of in today's generation, a lot of women run away from guys who do challenge them. I think Michael B. Jordan challenged Lori in a way she hasn't been challenged before. With Future, with Diddy, that's her environment. Trey Songz, they did not challenge her. She was probably more comfortable with them than she was with Michael B. Jordan. And I think her ego got a little bruised, like when she got in a situation and she said, "Oh wow, this guy is really bringing me up in status. I'm not the main attraction. He is. He's more disciplined. He's more structured." And then that made her want to retaliate and throw him off his square, disrupt the situation. And I think a lot, because even me personally, I've dealt with that on a smaller scale, but like I think that goes on a lot, and I think you miss that aspect of the relationship, of that dynamic.
Okay, well, first of all, we don't know why they split up. So the internet has a lot of assumptions about things, but we don't know why they split up. We don't know who called whatever off. We don't even know if that's what happened. Because the bottom line is, I didn't really see a situation where Michael wasn't still associating with the ladies like that. So we don't actually know what occurred. But okay, let's just take it from the common internet scuttlebutt that Lori Harvey was the one who pulled the trigger on it for whatever reason. Well, first of all, she's already demonstrated that she's basically just a chick on the make. She has been with too many damn people. None of them are highbrow. So I think she was with Future and Diddy. So I'm just like, okay, this is already bad enough. It was a huge upgrade for her reputationally and socially to be with Michael B. Jordan. That was a huge upgrade. However, she's also being told every single day that she's the prize and she's so great. So the issue is she believes it. She believes that you're lucky to be with her, or at the very least, when it was time for her to cash that out and just be humble, she no longer is able to be. Plus, she's in her 20s. So do any of us want to be judged on our level of maturity in our 20s? Probably not, but you're still going to be responsible for the consequences of immature behavior. So when it was time for her to pull back on that, she didn't. Why? Because take a look, I've had a great run. This run ain't going to stop. Michael going to leave, man. Something bigger coming along. Something bigger, man. What bigger? Pretty chicks are born every day. Michael B. Jordans have to be developed like an athlete over the course of decades. Baby, the bench is full. The bench is empty. And she didn't see that and didn't realize that's not the way that works. So she doesn't want to be a part of anybody's program because she's been told that she's got her own program. She's not really interested in having kids right now. So as far as she's concerned, she's out here to live it up and party it up because my mama did. So that's who she's following. She's not following Steve Harvey's example or Michael B. Jordan's. She's following her mama's example. And that's why you're seeing the behavior that you're seeing is because of that. Now, as far as what you were opening up with, that, oh, well, Jason, these women don't want to be challenged. Who wants to be challenged? Why are you here? Why would you desire to, quote, challenge a woman? Your job is to lead her, not to challenge her. You don't want to be challenged as a man. Women don't want to be challenged either. Where's the value of that? Now, if you have wrong assumptions or counterproductive things that you're doing, those should be corrected. But yeah, I don't see the value in, quote, being a challenger either. You should not be doing that. Now, if you got a program and she's not fitting on the program and she's not up to speed, that's where leadership comes in. If she's not coachable, forget challenges. If she doesn't want to be coached, Lori Harvey does not want to be coached. She's like, I already got it. I don't need to be coached. You need to be happy I'm sitting here. And there's where I think the breakdown comes in. Right there. But no, sir, I don't think there are any females who want to be challenged. And I don't. By the way, when you say be challenged, what exactly is your definition of that?
Well, actually, I really you corrected me, but that's what I really meant. I think Michael B. Jordan led the situation and he maybe correct her. I think every man has to kind of, sometimes it might be like a discussion and he has to kind of correct the situation. And I don't think she liked that. I don't think she liked that because in her past situations, she could just exist. These guys wasn't really like mentally, they wasn't really high level. Like Future, he's a freaking degenerate. I hate to say it. Diddy's a degenerate. All his mess came out later. That's a stain.
Well, she chose him. She chose him. But also by the same token, let us be honest, it's not honest to also not say that Michael B. Jordan chose her. What? So these were not secrets. Okay, he chose Futures and Diddy's and the rest of them's leftovers. So fellas, I'm going to be honest and balanced about this. I'm not going to shade it a nickel. Hey, Michael chose that. Now, he knew what he was getting. So, yeah, she a toss-up. She a pass-around. She's an industry pass-around. Okay, and it's your turn, Michael. It's your turn. Oh, you want to convert her into something more serious. Bruh, take a look at her track record. This ain't serious. Nor does she want to be because she thinks she's got an eternal gobstopper like all females do. And until the day that that receipt gets rejected, she's going to keep walking like that. But let's just keep it a bean. And Michael chose that. And we all know why he chose it. Okay, enjoy the ride. It's like having a season pass at Disneyland. Enjoy your season pass, but just understand this too will expire. Them the rules. That's the game.
Yeah, I got one last point. But one I want to say, I actually was rooting for, another thing too, I don't like the whole age. Oh, she was 25 at the time of the relationship. Is that not a grown, like my thing is, okay, 25, she's still in her mid-20s, but at what point can we start expecting, like, come on, she was a grown woman. Like, we can't call her, mentally she was immature, but she's a grown woman. Like, why are we continuously, like, infantilizing grown women. Like, I do not understand that. 25, you know, she should have. I don't know.
Well, I'm not infantilizing her. I don't see anybody else infantilizing her. There are just folks who are caping for her and protecting her because they want to defend the status quo of women taking advantage of men, and because they got this exploitation fantasy in their head, but these women can't actually pull it off because they're not eligible. So they're cheerleading for her as their vicarious mascot. These are things that they could never in their lives do because men would never desire them in that way. So they're cheerleading her for the abusiveness that they wish that they could put on men. Michael B. Jordan's the kind of guy who came up good that they wish they could get. They're not eligible for it. They also hate him. They love him, but hate him at the same time. And they're cheerleading her. Yeah, abuse him. That's right. Mess him up. That's what they're cheering for. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me go ahead and see if we can get Kwame up here on Zoom right quick. All right, Kwame, and what is on your mind? Okay, turn off your speakers.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight.
Okay, sir, you are not listening on Zoom. I'll give you about 2 seconds to get that resolved.
You're on Zoom right quick.
Okay.
All right,
this
Kwame,
dude
and what
is
is on your
not
mind?
listening.
Well, Mr. Black, this is what I gotta. Excuse me, sir.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight.
Okay, sir, you are not listening on Zoom. I'll give you about 2 seconds to get that resolved.
On Zoom right
And
quick.
y'all, he's got gray hair all over the place here, so this newfangled technology is new for him.
Really, sir. This is what I gotta.
Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Hey, sir.
Okay. We don't have time for you to figure out how the audio settings there work, so maybe you can hit us back next time. Let's see if that works out a little bit better there. Let's see if we can do that instead. So, yeah. But be that as it may, no, women aren't looking to be challenged. We don't have to challenge that there. But if she doesn't fit in with the leadership because, hey, baby, what worked for Diddy and Future, we don't do that over here. We don't do that over here. All right. Well, that's what that needs to be. You got a program. The whole thing is about, by the way, was she vetted for the program, or did you just tell yourself, well, she was just a wayward chick who didn't understand, and she kind of slipped him on a banana peel and ended up in bed with Future and Diddy and all the rest of them there. Okay. Or did you just sit up here and say, okay, baby, I seen your damn track record. This wasn't a fluke and it wasn't a mistake. You knew what you was doing. Okay, this is who you are. And I'm going to deal with you within them boundaries. Okay, let me check and see what the big deal was. What was the damn hubbub that Future and Diddy got? Let me see what that was about. Okay, as soon as you see what that is, all right, let me go ahead and sweep your ass on out the front door. I believe what happened, if you want to take that particular characterization of it, and I'm not saying that it necessarily is, but if you want to take that particular characterization of it, Michael B. Jordan ran into a genuine succubus. He had never dealt with a stomped down hoe.
And deal with it, nigga.
I said that.
Ho, please.
He never dealt with a stomped down hoe before who knows how to get down. She got the cute little face, but she is dirty, XXX rated. He's never really dealt with a chick like that before. He's sitting up here going on his ethnic adventures. All right. But he ain't never really dealt with a chick like Lori before, who know how to navigate on these streets with a cute face and keep a blade on you and keep a little gun in their purse. He ain't never dealt with nothing like that before, so he got with her and he was like, oh man, she probably purebred. She's just misunderstood. She's just misunderstood. And she got a hold of him. And next thing you know, he was like, I think I can make a wife out of this.
Nigga, what?
So if I had to hazard a guess, I'm pretty sure that's what happened. He got with her and this, let me see about something serious. Ain't nothing serious over here, man. Ain't nothing serious over here, but her job is to check to see if she can pull it. It's like, okay, as soon as she got you in position, she wants you to bow down like Steve Harvey does to her mama. When she finally did get a hold of Michael, what did she want? She wanted him to bow down to her and simp to her, just like her mama got Steve Harvey simping to her mama. And Michael was like, oh, wait a minute. No, but I don't think I can do that. And I believe that's where the breakdown came in. So she got him to drop his guard. And for a little bit, their life was sweet. And that's with most fellas, because the bottom line is, ladies, I got to read the mail right quick. I got to read the mail. Most females out here, I mean, they talk like they are just sexual porn stars. And most females out here are dollar store pawn stars.
And deal with it, nigga.
Most of the chicks out here, boys, that's why fellas are, you talking marriage and whatnot. Don't get married if you want sex, because most of these females, they just got a high-ass body count. But, I mean, in bed, I mean, it's just blind, lame, awkward. There's nothing special going on. So when a fella does get a hold of a chick who know how to do a lip lock, when he does get a hold of a chick who know what she need to do, oh man, a lot of these fellas like, wait a minute, hold on, this is here for a minute. He's ready to let her go because she costs too damn much money and she's too damn stressful and she's too damn demanding, but then he's thinking about your damn wet dish rag ass. It's okay. Yeah, it's just most of these chicks out here today, they talk like they porn stars and she's more like a rag doll and he's got to be like a puppeteer and she's a rag doll and this flop her arm over here and this. All right. Like somebody threw a mannequin on you. Damn. So yeah, when you get a hold of a Lori Harvey and it's like, okay. She walked in the room. She closed the door behind her. She put the hand behind her back to lock the deadbolt. Damn. Fellas ain't used to that. They ain't used to you. And walked in the room. All right, well, so glad we got home here. She done closed the door behind her. She eased up against the door. She got the hand behind the back. Click, clack. Snap that deadbolt. She's taking her earrings off. He's like, is this heifer getting ready to fight me up in there with these? She done kicked off her shoes and taken her earrings off. And you like, wait a minute, she about to square off on me? Is she about to give me the Clarissa Shields up in here? What are we doing? So yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what was going on because you can't be with Diddy or Future if you ain't. Oh, you can't last any amount of time with Diddy and Future if you don't know how to get down. So, Michael B. Jordan finally got himself some non-mayonnaise XXX rated. And he was like, oh, wait a minute. I might be able to clean her up if we can get her on the right foot. And this, oh, dude, no. She got 2 left feet. Ain't no right foot. She got 2 left feet. Ain't no right foot. So if I had to hazard a guess, I'm thinking I would say that's how it went down. But most females, they swear up and down they porn stars. And in reality, it's like, she'll do. Ain't nothing special going on. Most females are a Honda Civic. I mean, the gas mileage is decent. The performance is meh. The features are bland. I mean, it's reliable. It gets you where you're going. The gas mileage is good. You put your foot on the gas. Everything on the road's passing you. While you waiting for your chance to get up to 70 miles an hour, everything on the road's passing you. So No, high performance it is not. And then you just sitting there with longing eyes when you see that fella drive by in that AMG. What? You see that fella drive by in that Porsche. You sitting here with this damn Honda Civic, and the fella with the Porsche is passing you in the other direction. It's, oh, where did I go wrong in life? Oh, man. Oh, I got this 20-year-old as is. I mean, it's reliable, but damn, I'd like to take a little walk on the wild side. Just to see what it's like. Just the same old meat on a bun every night. I don't even get no cheese on this. The burger ain't even got no cheese on it. It's just, that's all I got is a hamburger sandwich. Just no cheese, no lettuce, no nothing. I'm just stuck here. And then here come Lori Harvey. She like, baby, I got cheese, ketchup, tacos. What? What you need. Matter of fact, shut up. You getting the buffet. It's like, okay. And she, all right, next thing you know, niggas like, no, I think I can get an Academy Award for that. All right, let's go ahead and jump back over here on Zoom again. I think I got Kwame here on Zoom. We'll see if he's got his audio situation straightened out. Unmute yourself, sir.
Thank you, sir.
All right, what's on your mind?
All right, sir. I do think women.
You're on, sir.
Okay, I do think women want to be played. I do think women want to be played, sir.
Okay,
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we hear you. Why do you say that?
For the simple reason, women would tell guys, excuse me?
He's got a delay. If you're not listening directly on Zoom, that's probably giving you a delay. If you're listening on YouTube, that's not where you're supposed to be. So if you're not listening on Zoom, that's probably causing you a delay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We've heard you the entire time. Apparently, you've been hearing a delay.
It's not the delay. Thank you, sir. The reason why I think women want to be played, don't you hear that they said they don't like a nice guy? A nice guy is boring to them. So they want someone that can run them through the gamut. Think about it. They can lie to you and you can tell them the same thing. You can lie to them. They will see that as a challenge. If you give a female what she wants, she's going to get bored with that. Like you're talking about Laurie. She was with Future. Oh, she had fun. Then when she got with Michael B. Jordan, she was like, damn, he's a straight shooter. He do it by the book or whatever. And she wasn't ready for that, like you said. And then you said a female like to be led. Now, what was that millionaire name? Was it Jeff Bezos? He married his wife, divorced him. Women want to be played because they like to be challenged. Jason, come on. They like to be challenged. Name one that don't want to be challenged.
Well, women like a challenge. They don't like to be challenged. Now, let me go ahead and address the first thing that you talked about there. You said that women want to be played and they want all these things going on. I think you may have a slight misinterpretation, or maybe it's not as articulate as it could be. Women want variety. But then again, that shouldn't be surprising. Men want variety too. We just want them in different nuances. When men want a respectable hoe. Damn! What? Okay, you can say how you want to. A lady in the streets freaking the sheets. What you're describing is I want a respectable hoe. So from the women's standpoint, that's a contradiction. Either you want a church lady or you want a sinner. Which one do you want? You're like, well, it depends on which side this dough we on. Okay, so from the woman's perspective, you're asking for a contradiction too. And in reality, you kind of are, but what you're saying is you want variety. Women are no different.
Okay, check this out, Jason. Women want to be, they don't want you to, a lot of women don't want you to tell them the truth because they like to feel good. Well, why didn't you tell me the truth? Think about the lady that say, this is something that I take in. The lady say, am I fat? I say, well, you fat before you got in that dress? See, she wants you to tell her she look good. No, you're fat. Women don't want to be, they don't want to be told that, some women don't want to be told the truth. I correct myself. Some women don't want to be told the truth, so they like to be lied to.
Okay, well, as far as the fat thing is concerned there, fellas, if you want to resolve that, the whole thing is about having her fighting weight, and that's the only clothes you buy for her. And then if she doesn't fit into them, you just say, are we having trouble fitting our clothes? You don't have to tell her she's fat. Hey, baby, you ain't wearing that. Go ahead and put that on for me. She's going to start balking. Are we having trouble fitting into them? So, fellas, that's how you handle the weight thing. Are you having trouble? I bought all these nice things over here. Are we having trouble fitting into them? All right, now we're giving you that one. But the other thing here is that, by the way, nor should they, to be totally honest. It should be a fluid situation. No woman got with you thinking that her tomorrow was going to look like her today.
Agreed.
No woman got with you thinking that from 10 years from now, it's going to look exactly the way it does now. Every woman got with you with the assumption that you were going to lead her to a different place. Now, when you talk about women don't want to be led, no, what happens is that most women do not want to be, the fellas who are making demands of them are not leading them anywhere. So she does not trust the guy who's asking her to let him lead because he's not actually leading anywhere. He's like, hey, we already at our destination. And you don't understand, she's not going to play that game the way you will. She's like, okay, I said I'm looking for a leader. Leaders take us somewhere else. I'm leading you right where we at right now. There's where the issue comes from is most fellas ain't leading nowhere. They're not going anywhere and thus they're not leading anything. But they want to be treated as if they were. And they're not. As a man, you need to be on the move somewhere.
Agreed. I agree with you. And about when you show that piece about Gil was talking about these girls and these girls was off limits. Let's go back. I think it was the 90s. Jason Kidd and Jimmy Jackson, they dealt with each other's wife and they was fighting. So that got to go out the window too. Gil was, whoever was telling that story was telling a fib about that.
Well, I mean, I think he was describing the rules of the road, really, because that's what I'm saying. In practice, a bunch of fellas out there said tripping. However, in theory, I can understand why those would be the rules that you want to adhere to. I certainly don't think that was a problem back in the 70s or the 80s or even the 90s. But with a lot of these new fellas out here and whatnot in the last 20 years, hell yeah, the rules have gone out the window. But then again, who is there to enforce the rules? The league isn't doing it. And what you're supposed to have is OGs on the team because those are your locker room leaders who got the clout and got the respect, at the player level, not the coach level. And you don't have that anymore. The league runs them hard and puts them away wet, dudes' careers in early and stuff. And so that institutional knowledge and things gets traded. The team wants to get you up off of their budget. We want to get you off the salary and whatnot. Let's get a young fella up in here. So they want to cycle them in as quickly and out as they can. If you stop performing, that's it. Okay, well, that means the ages are going to drop. So as a result, LeBron James is one of those greats, but he's also a great because he's an anomaly. He's going into his 40s. This is very rare. He's not just great, but he's going in his 40s to last this long, 2 decades. That's not the way that usually goes. And now, how many LeBrons at this age do you have in the NBA? Not only do you have, but who are respected because of their output. Because nobody's going to listen to a failure. You've been on the team the whole damn time. You ain't never put up an all-star, nothing else. You never put up numbers. You've never been a great player. People don't want to buy your jersey. The young cats aren't listening to you. They'll listen to LeBron. They grew up wanting to be him. They listen to Jordan. They grew up wanting to be him. So the league has really adopted policies that filter that out. But then again, that's the team owners. Remember, that's in their best interests. In the NFL, same thing. Jerry Jones, anyone? What? That's an adversary. The older players are an adversarial thing because remember, they've been around long enough. Their agents have been around long enough. You can't really get over on them anymore. Them young dudes, y'all can get over on them. The older fellas, they know the ropes. So they want to hurry up and get you out. And as a result, that institutional knowledge is left. But the team owners are okay with that too because you're more pliable. Okay, if the women can get over on them, don't you think them white lawyers are getting over on them left and right? And that's what they want.
And I'm glad that you told that gentleman that was on your broadcast the last minute about all women want attention, because I can take him to Steph Curry's wife. She said she was upset because she wasn't getting attention from other people, and she's with Steph Curry. So yes, all women want to know that men are attracted to them, even though they know that man can't have them. And I agree with you, Jason. Thank you for that.
Well, I think there's an issue there too, because no disrespect to Steph, because my stuff gets around to a lot of people here. No disrespect to Steph. Steph is highly respected as a ball player. He does not receive the equivalent respect as a man in society in general. He is a fine, upstanding citizen. He is a very good example of a fine, upstanding citizen, a fine, law-abiding citizen. A man with swag, he ain't. A fellow who has charisma, he's not. He's dry, he's simple. And I understand why. I mean, you take a look at what his daddy was doing. So in many ways, Steph is going in the opposite direction for some of the stuff that his dad was doing. That's admirable. It also makes you very dry and boring. And do you have a woman who is seeking dryness and boredom, or do you have a woman who still has a taste for excitement? Because you don't have an appetite for that. Not the way she does. She wants that NBA life because she's looking to get validated. You've always had access to it, so all of that to you is old. That doesn't excite you because you've been exposed to it now for over a decade. What, going on 2 decades for him? Not your wife. She never got to be one of the hot chicks in the NBA that folks made articles about and that other players were trying to push up on. She was never that up until recently, and she wants it. She wants that validation on that level, and attention from you doesn't give her that. She wants the guy who is desired by all the baddies on a raw sexual energy platform. Not simply you in the league and the chick trying to gold dig and come up. She wants a fellow who's moving like Future and gets that kind of raw sexual energy attention. And Steph Curry doesn't do that. He doesn't do it. He doesn't get it. He never has. He never will. And as long as she wants that, she constitutes a threat. At some point, she's going to want that experience, and he can't give it to her.
And another reason why I say played or at least lied to, not told the truth. A female thinks, if he get with me, I can change him. And then when you don't move the way that she wants you to move, that's the challenge. That's the difference. Oh, I'm not bored no more because now I got to work for this guy. And it might be, like you said, he might be on a business level or he might be an athlete, but he's not moving her way. So I look at that, and I think she look at that as a challenge because she already got in her mind that he get with me, I'm going to change him. And most women say that.
Yeah, but there's an intrinsic problem in what you just put up there.
Okay.
You're dealing with a female who obviously does not want to be a part of your program. So that's only a response from somebody who she's not really interested in being a part of your program. She wants you to transform to suit whatever she thinks is a program for her. So the only way you can be getting that response is she doesn't want to be a part of your program to begin with. So that needs to be chopped off at the knees from the beginning. That's why I talk about coachability. Coachability, I mean, if you have a player on your NBA team who is uncoachable, what does that mean? He wants to do his own thing. He does not want to be part of a team. Okay, she can't be here if she doesn't want to be part of the team. Why is she here? We already got a coach and a general manager and an owner. We don't need a second coach and a second general manager and a second owner. We already got that. We need a player. And if she doesn't want to be a player, you got to identify that early. And when you start getting what she don't want to do and doesn't want to fit in with, and I want to change him, wait a minute. That's like going to the Lakers and saying, I want to change the Lakers. That's like going to the New England Patriots and talking about you want to change the Patriots. Hold on a second. I thought you wanted to be on a championship team. I do. And am I not a championship team? You are. Okay, and if you change me, the only thing that's going to do is make me something other than the championship team. So either you want to be on the championship team or you don't. But I don't need your help being a champion. I didn't bring you here to teach me to be a champion. We were making champion. That's why a man's got to have accomplishments. So you got championships before she ever got there. And she needs to look at your trophies and see, okay, if you're not here to put the next trophy on the mantle, you don't need to be here. But I'm not bringing you here to teach me how to get a trophy. Don't you see I already got them? But let's just be honest, brother, that's what most men are missing. They want championship respect. And, bro, she looking on the mantle. She doesn't really see them trophies like that.
Correct, Jason. But do the female want a trophy, or she want the story that she can go tell her friends?
Both.
And that's what most of them do. They talk. Well, we might be different ages of women. Or ladies. We might
all ages.
You think all ages?
All ages want the trophy, but they also want the story that goes along with it. Women are natural creatives and storytellers. They want both the story and the trophy.
Well, Jason, I disagree with you. I can agree with you with the trophies and the stories. Like you said, you got a lot of accomplishments, but they want a story that they created. Oh, I changed him to do this, girl. You know, I hear it all the time, Jason. They tell their girls all the time that.
Right. And she can believe whatever she wants to believe. She can tell them whatever tall tales she wants to, so long as she doesn't come to you confused. So you can tell women are going to exaggerate just like dudes exaggerate. It's rare to find a fellow who does not exaggerate things, but that's usually a fact of something else. Fellows who got a lot of stuff don't exaggerate because they're like, okay, I don't want to tell folk too much because they get too interested. Women are going to exaggerate, period. Or at the very least, they're going to floss. Okay, that's being a girl. That's being a female, bro. You ain't going to remove that. The real thing is, does she come home to you confused about that mess she was saying out there? Baby, do you think that's the real world that you bring to me? No. You can do that out there, but you don't bring that to me. This is the real world in here. So fantasize out there, but it's going to be all 100% real when you stand in front of me. Otherwise, you're confused because I ain't one of them chicks at the barbershop. I ain't one of them chicks at the salon. You save that for them. And as men, we have to do that. There's certain stuff females got to say when they're around other broads. You can be all girly and dainty and gossipy and clucking and whatnot. I'm not really here to do gossip with you. I need you to go get your hair done, your nails done, so you and the rest of them chicks can sit around and gossip with each other. When you come here, don't get confused. I'm not one of them. I'm not one of your broads. I'm not one of them.
I agree with you. Just like you said, and I think a man, like they said, good, nice guys finish last. And most women say they don't want a nice guy. And that's why I always will stick to women want to be lied to and they want to be played because that's their challenge too. That's the challenge that they see.
I disagree with what you just said there, though. I've never seen a female who said, I don't want a nice guy, except some brain screwed up hood rats who are trying to get content on Facebook. Most women are not going to say anything like that. I think you're judging by their actions, but you don't have any females say, I don't want a nice guy. They all say they want a nice guy. What they really, when they say that, they want a compliant fella, but they all meet nice guys. What they really, that when the rubber meets the road, she doesn't really respect that. She doesn't really respect that. And the other thing is we have to get down to, okay, man, what is your definition of nice? Polite?
Well, I think nice. I'm sorry. Go ahead, please.
Polite, law-abiding, church going. What is your definition of, quote, nice? Once again, men don't ask enough questions. So you cannot condemn her or criticize her for her position if you don't even have a common frame of reference. So going forward, fellas, if you do have a chick who says that, tell her define nice. And don't let it be vague either. No. We need to be specific. Tell me specifically what is, quote, nice to you that qualifies for you. I think you'll find out that her definition of, quote, nice isn't nearly the one you tell yourself, isn't nearly as tactical.
Okay, Jason, I do talk to women and I do ask them what's nice. Most of them want what they want. They want someone like you, like cater to them. Don't say no to them. Do this and do that. Because I'm a big guy and I say no. I use no like a credit card. I use no like a credit card and it gets me everywhere. It gets me in the door and all of that. So men, don't be afraid to say no. And I got that advice from other women. Say no.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just like with men with hoes. I mean, men women get confused because she's like, okay, I slept with you on the first date and I was doing all this stuff right here, and why? And then you're saying I'm not wife material. Well, no, because you slept with me on the first damn date, and that's not wife material. Like, okay, but you said you didn't want a woman who was a troublemaker. No, I don't want a troublemaker. No, I did everything you said. That I was being a hoe. Yeah, that's the problem. Yes, you did exactly what I said. Yeah, that's the issue. Now, once again, that door swings both ways. But if a man's gonna be a trick with his money, the women will take your damn money, and you thinking you're buying respect. Oh, I did everything she said. Yeah, and that's why she doesn't respect you. There, you have no boundaries, which means you have no principles. You have no character of your own. No is how you define your character and your principles. By saying no. Because by definition, implicit in that is that this person may not like this. And you're like, yeah, well, I don't know if you're going to be here tomorrow or not, but I said no. So whatever keeps me with this no, that's more valuable to me than whatever you're going to do. And now you've established boundaries. People can now, I don't know if they like you, but I know they respect you now. And for a man, that means more to us than anything. Liking us is optional. Respecting us is mandatory. There ain't no substitute for that. So she might not like me, but baby, you got to respect me. Because I can't have you like me and not respect me. I can have you respect me and not like me, but I can't have you like me and not respect me. No. This is a useless situation for me to be in. Now, brother, why are you dressed like Charlie Wilson from the 1981 Gap Band album? What?
Ooh, me, brother, I have my own style, brother. That's it.
Brother, I understand. I'm not moving on nothing. I'm just saying I see it there, and it's just like I was playing that CD just the other day, and I said, there's Charlie.
And I was playing it today. You're right, brother. I'm not afraid to show my age, my wisdom, and it's here.
Brother, I'm all the way with you there, man. Email me some tickets to the next Soul Train concert so I can go ahead and join you for that. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Yeah, y'all. I mean, he got the cowboy hat and the shirt with the paisley designs on the shoulders. I'm just like, man, I'm just sitting here thinking in my head, everybody wanna ride. All it takes is a nickel or a dime. As soon as I saw him, it was playing in my head. As soon as I saw him, it's the party train. Take these are some valuable life lessons. Also, did you all notice I'm not fighting or arguing with female nature? I'm not arguing that the women shouldn't want what they want. Did you notice that? No one has called me and I told them that the women shouldn't want what they want. Okay, well, you can want that. I don't know if you're going to want what comes along with it, but I mean, you can want that. I'm not denying female nature. I'm not saying that women should not want what they want. Fellas, I'm just going to tell you right now, if all things remaining equal, if a woman has a choice between having everything she wants with passion and everything she wants without it, she is going to take everything she wants with passion 9 times out of 10. It's going to be very rare that a female is not going to want that. Passion ignites her emotions. Passion delves into those other parts of herself that she keeps private. It's not that she doesn't want to experience them. So yes, if there's a fellow who can open that up and she can have that experience, she's not going to leave that on the table if she can avoid that. In case you forgot, women are very sensitive to how short-lived their fertile years are, their sexual viability. They're very, very sensitive to that, and they should be. As a man, this is something for you to understand because it gives you the advantage. Damn! It's not something for you to fight. It is something for you to understand. It gives you the advantage because you're not just seeing what she does. You now understand why she's doing it. That's what gives you the advantage, is knowing the why. Now that you understand not just what she's doing, but why she's doing it, now you know how to leverage that yourself. Just to the men listening here, fellas, a lot of you were good students in school. You were good bookworms. That's all great and wonderful. You're not in grade school no damn more. And you want grown women to judge you and value you the way your mama did. All you had to do for your mama was be a law-abiding citizen and good grades. Okay, your mama is not trying to start a family with you. Just like you don't like that with females talking about their daddies, bruh. She's not looking for a mama's boy like that. Your mama wasn't trying to start a family with you. For the women who are, if you're going to have, she has to rest all her chips here, ideally she's going to want everything. She's going to try to come as close to it as she can. Can they be unrealistic? Absolutely. But just understand she's not going to stop wanting it. So you being a boring wet blanket, please understand that makes you too easy to lose desirability for. Everything is bland. It's all the same. There's no excitement. There's no mystery. There's no intrigue. There's no friction. At the very least, for example, for leading, when you say no, she's like, no, why am I being told no? Guess what? She's not just asking a question. This is you leading her to an answer. So these are not things for you to be resentful of. These are things for you to understand. Now, if you have a disciplinary problem who doesn't want to be with the program, that's the real issue right there. If she's not a disciplinary problem, she wants to be with the program, well, then now you're just leading. But fellas, I got to remind you here, it doesn't do you any favors. It doesn't do you any favors to be a wet blanket. It doesn't do you any favors to achieve at a low level and say, well, I got a roof over my head and some rump to grab over here. I'm done striving. Just understand something. Do you know that a female is paying attention when you're the one saying, yeah, I got a nice car, but the car's not nice enough. Yeah, some of that 1% stuff they have on Instagram. Yeah, that's the next step. Do you know that she's recognizing that? You're telling her that you have new mountains you're going to climb and new places you're going to go. And what that immediately communicates to her is, does she qualify for where you're going? Because where you're at right now, you haven't reached your destination. You're off to a new place. Well, she might not qualify to go to that new place. But it's also very obvious if you ain't going to a new place. So you always need to be moving. You always need to be in motion. You always need to be challenging the world. And it always needs to be obvious to the woman you're with that that's what you're doing. And when it's clear that you're challenging the world and challenging events and that you're still ambitious and you're still going somewhere, now she realizes, hey, he was going somewhere when he met me and he's going somewhere now that he's with me. I might not be going. He's going to be going. I just might not be there. Okay. Now she's got something to lose. Now she has something to lose. Michael B. Jordan was on his way to the mountaintop. Michael B. Jordan was on his way to greatness. Michael B. Jordan was on his way to history. Now, I don't know if Lori Harvey is going to be going with him. Obviously, she's not. We didn't know if she was going with him, but Michael was like, hey, baby, I'm going, whether you're with me or whether you're not with me. And now that he's pulled it off, ain't nobody going to question anything he ever says he wishes to achieve for the rest of his life. No one is going to question him. The only question is going to be if you going to be a spectator or whether you're going to be a participant with him. It's not going to be a question of whether he's going, because he's going. With or without you. He didn't tell you. He didn't warn you. He just went ahead and did it. By the way, I would be remiss if I did not point out that custom Louis Vuitton outfit that he had made. By the way, y'all know he knew he was winning. He had them make him a custom Louis Vuitton outfit with the Mandarin collar. It's kind of Indian design, like from India, but with the Mandarin collar. He had them design him a custom outfit. You knew he was winning. Okay. That's what it means to be with the man. He's not just talking a big game about life. Damn it, he's bringing home trophies. He's bringing home wins. He's bringing home championships. You can sit over there, Miss Harvey, and be a legend in your own damn mind. He's out here racking up championships. And he's going to take that value to the next person. Wherever he goes, that value is coming with him. He's not going to give that up. The value comes with him. And what it means is there will just be another female who's going to get an opportunity. Don't know if she's going to make good on it, but she will have the opportunity to experience this since you gave up your slot and gave up your seat. And this is the real lesson for men to learn. Kanye West got divorced from Kim Kardashian. Okay, it put him through the emotional ringer. He got back on his square. He's bigger and better than ever. He has a banging ass clothing line that's way more valuable than anything they gonna have. And Kim is on TV talking about him, and he is no longer on TV talking about her. And that is as it should be. And Michael B. Jordan is on TV winning trophies and going to the mountaintop and making history. And Lori Harvey is sitting at home getting all kinds of suggestions from social media. Would you like to look at this post? Lori Harvey's at home swinging in the air. Would you like to take a look at this post? Lori Harvey just made an epic fumble. How about this one right here? Lori Harvey's show did mess up with Michael B. Jordan. Don't y'all know that's all that's being given to her on her social media feed? Everywhere she looks, she got to see Michael B. Jordan now with that damn trophy in his hands. For a lot of y'all are damn lucky. You get to get away from your exes. Man, you can go on social media and never see your ex. Nobody is randomly posting pictures of your ex winning. Don't you realize how lucky you are? Okay, well, she can't get away from this. That was headline news, so you know she saw it back to back in high def, 8K, multiple channels every damn day, multiple videos. So the only way she can get away from this is just don't get on the internet. If she just doesn't log on the internet and she lives on the internet, okay, she lives on Instagram. Well, Instagram's flooded with this, so it's, well, this is going to be rough for a while. So for a lot of the rest of you, you can get away from your exes, but man, look here. She got to see him shining. Now come on and tell us that you don't wish you were there. Go ahead and tell us, I didn't miss nothing. It's like, there's nobody in there who thinks that. No one. And this is what happens when you fumble the damn ball. But I want the men to understand, I've spent decades now telling you, you have to have $1 million goals. That's how you look up here. If you want to experience this, where it's like, okay, the real thing is it's a power move because she had something to lose. Fellas, the reason for jacking up your value is so that the people around you who displease you, they have a lot to lose. When you're a basic guy, people have nothing to lose. When you're exceptional, they got a lot to lose. Make it hurt. When they fumble you, make it like when being on the wrong side of the Music City Miracle. Make it being on the wrong side of that Hail Mary. You increase your value, your performance, you become excellent so that for anybody who, for whatever reason, they go against the grain, they think they're bigger than the program, they turn against what's going on, you make sure when they sitting at home and whatnot, it's like, yeah, you'll get to watch the Super Bowl from your couch. The team is going. You get to hold this L. We get to hold this trophy. That's the reason, fellas. Stop dreaming about it and be about it. Stop looking at Michael and cheering for him. Let's write some stories about you. Let's log a few stories about you. Let's do that. I want to thank everyone who has contributed to support tonight's program here on PayPal, Super Chat, Venmo. Shout out here to Franklin Avery. Thank you very much for your support here. Tom Slick, Zachariah Williams, Tony, Ryder, Ianto is in the building. Sir Shy is in the house. We appreciate that too. Ryder Firehawk said, is it true that spouses are sugar babies in disguise? Okay, let me say something here, fellas. Let me say something here. I need the men to be honest with themselves for a few moments. See, there's a reason why the fresh and misfit incel talk don't make it here. I need the men to be honest with themselves. You have to earn the right to call women gold diggers, sugar babies, hoes. You got to earn that. You don't get to just say that because you're displeased with the circumstances or whatever. You got to earn that. So I have to ask, wait a minute. If you want a woman to make you her everything, the question is, are you everything? Are you interesting? Do you have a personality? Because a bunch of fellas, a bunch of y'all just want to be basic guys. You're not going anywhere. There's literally, you're like The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. There's nothing exceptional about your life. And then you're mad that the female wishes she could be somewhere else. Well, I want to be mediocre and basic, and she just needs to understand that she's mediocre and basic too, and damn it, she needs to settle for. And that's really where fellas are today, is this wish fulfillment of, well, can I just get her to recognize I ain't about nothing and she ain't about nothing either? Instead of saying, okay, am I exceptional so that she's got something that she desires other than money? Dude, females don't fist fight over a dude because of money. Not unless she is just a down on her luck chick. They don't fist fight over that. If she knuckles up on another broad, that's because you've shown personality, competence. You're interesting. You've upgraded her mentally, emotionally. That's what it is. If all you are is a paycheck, then yeah, every female is a, quote, sugar baby in disguise for you. Every female is. Because there's nothing to you but, well, he can pay the bills. Recently, condolences, but Miss Sprinkle, when she talked about her husband online, the only thing she mentioned was he paid the bills. And I'm like, that's not a flex. The man has passed away, and your commentary to the internet was he paid the bills. Really? She didn't say that he was a wonderful leader. He had fantastic character. He opened my eyes to new places. I'm a better, smarter woman because of him. He paid the bills. Okay, that's an insult. Anybody, you could have won the lottery and paid your bills. What's so special about him? And too many fellas just want to be a basic dude. Well, as long as I pay the bills, ain't that good enough? You want to be simple and one-dimensional. You don't want to go anywhere. You don't want to see anything. You don't want to bring back knowledge and make it your responsibility to do so. You don't want to be adventurers and explorers in the world that you live in. And I'm not talking about going overseas, passport pimping. I'm talking about specifically to learn things, continental, domestically, and then internationally. You're not bringing back trophies of knowledge and experience and understanding. She doesn't get to sit to you and listen and be spellbound for hours as you're telling her about what you've done and where you've been and the details of it. What I'm saying is that most men are not storytellers because you don't have a story to tell. So get off your ass, go buy that Rolex watch You weren't born into a family for it. Okay, go ahead and buy that because there's going to be a story. Go overseas, there's going to be a story. Don't count on your damn money. Count on your wits. Challenge yourself. Forget about challenging a female. Challenge yourself. Go get that Porsche 911. Go get that GT3. Go get that Bentley Continental. A new one. Get one with a warranty on it. So you'll have a story to tell. It's not about the car, stupid. It's not about the car or the watch, dummy. It's about the person you're going to have to become to get those things. This is going to be an adventure. It's not about buying something. I'm on a new adventure. An adventure where? Yeah, that 1%er land. The Rolls Royce over there. I'm going to go do that. Like Sir Edmund Hillary climbing Mount Everest. Why are you doing that? Because it's there. Because of what I'm going to have to become. I'm going to have to become exceptional to get that. Yeah, I'm going to go do that. To prove to myself I can, without it wrecking my life and wrecking my finances, by the way, not just to get it in this most valuable thing you own. I'm going to do this as part of an overall picture to prove that I can. And this is going to be an adventure, and I'm going to have a story to tell. And oh yeah, one more thing. And after you buy it, take the damn thing coast to coast. What? I'm not supposed to tell y'all this right here, but to the fellas listening here right now, I want to give you a challenge for your lives, by the way. Most of you guys have not been on a damn road trip. Forget an overseas trip, a road trip. I want to challenge you right now. Go ahead and buy that damn thing. Go ahead and buy that car. Go ahead and buy the car with all the accessories that you need. And then you tell your female here, by the way, this April, spring break, you and me are taking a road trip. We're taking a road trip where? Interstate 10. And we are going to drive that thing from coast to coast. Interstate 10, all the way from Florida, all the way to California. And we're not going to be driving 90 miles an hour either. So yes, go and buy that Range Rover, buy that G-Wagon, buy that Maybach, buy that Aston Martin. Okay, and after you do it, go get some stories. There ain't no stories on an airplane except stupid passengers. Go get some stories. We're going to stop at this gas station over here. We're going to stop at this dive restaurant over there. We're going to drive coast to coast from one end of Interstate 10 to the other. And then what after that, Jason? Then we're going to go up north on Interstate 5, and then we're going to go from Barstow all the way back east on Interstate 40. What? Damn! They ain't ready for this tonight. I'm supposed to be saving this for Patreon. I'm not supposed to tell y'all about this. I'm supposed to save this for that. I'm not supposed to tell you nothing about this. Do you understand that you can get on Interstate 95 up in the New England states, take it all the way down to Florida, then go hit Interstate 10, take it all the way to California, then take Interstate 5, take it all the way up to Washington. And then for Interstate 90, it's a bit of an off again, on again thing, but you keep driving, you'll make it to New York again. Now that's driving the circumference of the United States. You think you're not going to have stories to tell after that? I've got too many. I got too many to tell. Okay, now it's your turn. Here's the problem. Most women know that they're with a man who that ain't him. He's not going to do that. He has no interest in it. And fellas, what I'm saying is you're not challenging yourself. You tell her, baby, I'm buying a Bentley and I'm going to take a road trip with or without you. So just understand, I'm going. I don't know if you going with me, but I'm going. The women are looking for that. They're looking for that dude, because if you are the man, once upon a time, you used to be that fella. You used to be the guy who could tell her, baby, I'm doing it with or without you. Now, after all these years, okay, well, happy wife, happy. And she said I can't do that. So I'm sitting around the house here, hand me down my rocking cane. And she, just like you're not going to tell her she's fat, she's never going to tell you you've become a lame. You're not exciting anymore. Why you need excitement? Okay, you think that's a winning argument? You should like boredom. Okay. Fellas, do you really think that's a winning argument? Aw, Prince, that's a sad commentary in this chat room.
Nigga, what?
All right. I mean, I guess get that off your chest, Prince. But yes, fellas, I mean, I just gave you a very simple example. Make sure you got good tires, but if you're gonna go buy your dream car, man, if you buy the damn dream car, why ain't that thing racking up miles, man? It's not a damn collector's item. Buy your dream car, hit the damn road and tell her, look here, baby, for the next 2 weeks, these wheels gonna be rolling. I'm about to put 4,000 miles on this thing, 4,000 or 6,000 miles on it, with or without you. Oh yeah, and by the way, folks, you want a super challenge to go along with it? I'm giving this to the internet. I shouldn't be giving this to the internet because this is really supposed to be for Patreon because they don't talk to you about this. But you really want something here, fellas? What you can do is stop in every state when you get to the freeway sign that says, welcome to that state. When you get to the freeway sign that says, welcome to Florida, you're going to have to turn around. You stop, tell her, we're going to take a picture in front of every welcome to the state sign. Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas, all the way to California, New Mexico, Arizona, whatever, all the way through. You got to go up a little bit north. You get the idea. Heading back the other way. If you're heading north, Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, Maryland. And tell her we're going to stop at every single one when you get that welcome to the state sign. So, baby, you're going to have 20, 30 pictures before we get done. You don't think she's going to have a story to tell when she flips through all of those? By the way, tell her, baby, you need to be able to fit into your nice clothes now. So, yes, you need to chop out about 10 pounds there so you can fit into these nice things because we will be taking pictures. And these you can post on your social media.
And deal with it, nigga.
These you can post on your social media. Fellas, you think you're not going to have a story to tell? You're going to have plenty of them. But are we going on this adventure? Or are we not? Michael B. Jordan is on an adventure right now. He's on an adventure right now, and the folks who jumped ship are the ones who got voted off the island. Now they get to watch and see, is this bigger and better than ever? And they'll just wonder what could have been. And that's the life you want to lead. You're still out here making things happen. You're still seeing things, and she can be a part of the journey or she can sit where she is, but you will not sit with her. And if she sits too long, she might not have anything to return to. When you get back, she might not have a place anymore because she's no longer fitting with the program. So you don't challenge women, you challenge the world. You challenge yourself. And it's her job to keep up with it. But fellas, keep challenging. Don't ever let her think that she knows you. Throw him a damn wild card. Say some stuff that she wasn't expecting. I'm going on a road trip. Road trip? You don't never take no road trips. Where the hell you think you're going? Yeah, I'm taking a road trip. Wear some clothes you usually don't. Stop being predictable. Stop being the same. Do you see just how quickly you can inject excitement into something? When she sees, wait a minute, he went to the barbershop. He ain't never wear these colors before. He's never dressed like this. What is he doing? And what you're doing is reminding them not to take you for granted, the idea that you cannot change or evolve. That's not something you tell people, it's something you show them. So no, don't be boring. Don't be ordinary. Don't be plain. Don't be predictable. Throw in a wild card there. And then keep doing it. Don't ever stop. That's the lesson for men to learn from Michael B. Jordan. He told people he was going on this amazing adventure. He kept going. Lori Harvey had her opportunity to go. She will not be joining him for the rest of his life. But the adventure continues. And she can sit and wonder what could have been. She can just wonder what could have been. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up here tonight. If you are new here to the business, welcome to the program that all your favorite YouTubers love to hate watch. They'll all be studying this, and most of them will be swinging at the air like, damn, Jason called me out. I didn't call you out. The truth called you out. So click that subscribe button and that notification bell. Join us each and every time that we are here. If you haven't been to our Patreon, the link is in the description of the video. We do it every Saturday, 12 noon Central Time. Got a few points here I want to go over here that are not suitable for YouTube. I don't want to do this on YouTube here, but there's a few things I do want to go over here tomorrow. So we're going to go ahead and get into that. I want to thank all of you for tuning in to tonight's program, live or recorded. Thank you all for liking, subscribing, and sharing. By the way, fellas, take a look at how the females are responding in the chat room and what they just heard. So the proof is in the pudding. And this concludes tonight's broadcast of The Business. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, Mr. Jason Black. And until next time, my brothers and my sisters from around the world, remember, handle your business or your business will